Chapter 421. In the outskirts of the green-blue star city, Big Brother Guafan, my eldest uncle, is about to use greater teleportation. You just have to stand there obediently, said Hei Tong to Guafan in a low voice. Guafan said in surprise, "Are we not going to use the interstellar conveying arrays? Even ordinary demon emperors would rarely use greater teleportation to travel. After all, the distance between greater teleportation and interstellar conveying arrays was very large. If we use the interstellar conveying arrays, I will be able to bring you two back with me merely the time needed to line up." Qin Yu grabbed the two of them with each hand and used greater teleportation. In an instant, he disappeared. It was impossible for Qin Yu to arrive at the flowing mist star with the two of them. He stopped for a moment on a barren planet and then used greater teleportation again to bring Hei Tong and Guafan to the flowing mist star. Inside the flowing mist star's 5 Willows Palace's clear flow mansion's guest room, Ho Fei, Kuro, Bai Ling, Wu Lan and even Dong Shui were all carefully looking at Guafan. Tiske, never would I have expected that. Little Tong, little girl, you've only been out for a short period of time and you've already brought back a lover. Even now, your second uncle, I, do not have a lover. Ho Fei stuck his head out and stared at Guafan and Hei Tong while ridiculing them. Hei Tong pouted her mouth. Occasionally, she would look at the seniors in front of her. Then, she would lower her head bashfully. As for Guafan, he was a bit reserved. He was able to sense that the group of people in front of him were all extraordinary experts. Big Brother Guafan, let me introduce you. Hei Tong pulled Guafan. She first looked to Wu Lan. Big Brother Guafan, this is eldest Uncle Wu Lan. Eldest Uncle Wu Lan likes me the most. You should address him the same way I do. Wu Lan chuckled and nodded. Guafan pays his respects to eldest Uncle Wu Lan. Guafan was very reserved. Although he wanted to act natural, the group of people in front of him, merely by standing there casually, gave him a frightening psychological pressure. After all, this was a group of Emperor-level experts. Furthermore, they were extremely powerful Emperor-level experts. Hei Tong then looked to Qin Yu. "This is my eldest uncle. You know him too. My eldest uncle is a very good person. Furthermore, his words are very useful." Guafan pays his respects to eldest uncle. Hearing what Hei Tong said, Guafan came to understand that his eldest uncle's words were very useful in this group. Qin Yu smiled faintly and nodded. "This is my second uncle. He doesn't act like an old man and always makes fun of me," said Hei Tong as she wrinkled her nose. Ho Fei immediately opened his eyes wide. The group of people in the living room all started to chuckle. Even Kuro, who didn't have a good expression from the very beginning, had a slight smile on his face. Ho Fei immediately opened his mouth to speak. "However, my second uncle is the one who gets along with me the most. In fact, he cares about me a lot," said Hei Tong sweetly. Only then did Ho Fei nod his head in satisfaction. With a smile, he said, "Girl, at least you understand my thoughts." Guafan pays his respects to second uncle. Guafan said respectfully, "Men." Ho Fei put on airs and nodded his head. Immediately after, he opened his eyes wide. "Boy, listen carefully. If I were to find out that you were to bully little Tong in the future, I will chop you into 8 pieces." Ho Fei opened his eyes wide. His eyes burst forth with flame-like radiance. This caused Guafan to be startled. Guafan merely nodded his head. At the same time, he took a glance at Hei Tong, who stood to the side. "This is my master. I am on the flowing mist star. You've already met her last time." Hei Tong introduced Dong Shui. Guafan immediately bowed. In the past, Hei Tong had gone to the green-blue star with Dong Shui. When Guafan got to know Hei Tong, he also got to know her master. Hei Tong pulled Guafan's hand and walked over to Kuro and Bai Ling. In a somewhat serious manner, she said, "These are my parents." Guafan opened his mouth. He didn't know how to address them. Kuro frowned and coldly humphed. Guafan's heart couldn't help but tremble. Kuro placed great importance on strength. And this Guafan was merely an ordinary monstrous beast. Kuro was even worried. Once the three of them ascended to the divine realm, how would Guafan be able to take care of his daughter? And now, seeing how dull Guafan was, he grew even angrier. Guafan, you can just call them uncle and aunt, said Qin Yu with a smile on his face. Guafan glanced at Qin Yu gratefully. Immediately, he said respectfully. Guafan pays his respects to uncle and aunt. Good, good. Bai Ling was very happy. Kuro merely lightly nodded his head. On the same day, a banquet was held in the Clear Flow Mansion. Henceforth, Guafan became a member of the Five Willows Palace. The Five Willows Palace could be said to be the local tyrant of the Flowing Mist Star. Even though the Eagle clan possessed enormous power, their tentacles extended to the Flowing Mist Star and were unable to discover Guafan's identity. At the banquet, Qin Yu, Kuro, and Ho Fei walked out of the living room. Xiao Hei, you don't seem to like this Guafan. Qin Yu had long noticed that Kuro didn't like Guafan. Kuro indifferently said, Little Tong likes this silly kid. I can't do anything about it. It's just that this Guafan's aptitude is very ordinary. In terms of cultivation speed, all three of us brothers are exceptional. But this Guafan, I have never thought of relying on him to protect Little Tong in the future. Don't mind it too much. Everyone has their own opportunities. Aptitude is important, but personal effort is even more important. How would you know Guafan's future achievements? Furthermore, Little Tong likes this kid. That's the most important thing. Qin Yu explained. Seeing the expression on Kuro's face, Qin Yu knew that Kuro didn't approve of it. Thus, he changed the topic and said, Xiao Hei, this time on the Green-Blue Star, I've killed 3 demon emperors from the Eagle clan. One of them was even a high-level divine beast Cyan Flame Eagle. I reckon that the Eagle clan would not let this matter rest. Eagle clan. Kuro and Ho Fei were slightly startled. However, there was no trace of concern on their faces. Currently, in the Bird clan, only the Pang Demon Emperor was capable of causing the 3 brothers to be careful. The reason why I've said all this is to have you all pay attention. I'll immediately have Dong Shui pay attention to the outsiders on the Flowing Mist Star. After all, the less trouble the better. Qin Yu also did not care much about it. Inside the Imperial Palace on the core planet of the Bird clan, the Black Crow Star, the Pang Demon Emperor Zhong Yan and his 2 subordinates, Level 8 Demon Emperors Ao Ku and Lu Tu, were currently drinking wine and chatting. Lu Tu suddenly took out a transmission spiritual pearl. After a short moment, Lu Tu started to frown. He immediately stood up and said respectfully to the Pang Demon Emperor, Your Majesty, something has happened in this subordinate's clan. I wish to return and settle it. What's the big matter? It's not too late to leave after drinking wine, said Ao Ku with a smile. The Pang Demon Emperor's gaze swept past Lu Tuesday. What's the big matter? Lu Tu immediately said respectfully, Not long ago, our clan's future clan chief and 2 demon emperors were killed by a mysterious expert on the Green-Blue Star. Mysterious expert, said the Pang Demon Emperor with a slightly disdainful expression. Your Eagle clan's next clan chief seemed to have reached level 1 demon emperor. Furthermore, there were 2 demon emperors. How powerful were they? I reckon that the person who killed them was only ordinary. Lu Tu said respectfully, To your Majesty, that mysterious expert was naturally ordinary. However, he had killed our clan's future clan chief. As the current clan chief, I must take care of this mysterious expert. Leave after drinking wine, said the Pang Demon Emperor indifferently without allowing any resistance. Yes. Lu Tu did not dare to say any more. It was destined that he would not be able to drink this wine peacefully. After drinking 2 cups, the Pang Demon Emperor picked up a transmission spiritual pearl. Zhong Yan, it's been a long time since we've contacted each other. That message had completely awakened the Pang Demon Emperor from his drunken stupor. That was because the person who sent this message was an expert that even the Pang Demon Emperor was unable to see through. The Cyan Emperor with the title of eternal youth. Brother Qi-Ching, what matter do you have for me? The Peng Demon Emperor was courteous to the Cyan Emperor. The Cyan Emperor sent a message. I have a matter for you. To tell you the truth, in about a year's time, I will be undergoing my divine tribulation. Divine tribulation? The Peng Demon Emperor's heart violently jumped. That's right. For this divine tribulation, I've decided to invite my friends from all over the immortal, devil and demon realm to come and observe the ceremony. And now, I've come to inform you to go and observe the ceremony. Zhong Yan, are you interested in going and watching my divine tribulation? The tone of the Cyan Emperor's message was very relaxed. A ray of light flashed through the Peng Demon Emperor's eyes. Of course I'm interested. Brother Qi-Ching's divine tribulation, since you've invited me, how could I not go? For ordinary people to undergo their divine tribulation, in order to prevent others from disturbing them, they would generally not tell others about it. However, the Cyan Emperor had invited others. This was a relatively strange matter. Merely, to people like the Peng Demon Emperor, seeing the divine tribulation in advance would also be helpful to him when he undergoes his divine tribulation in the future. Thus, he would naturally not miss it. Good. I reckon that the divine tribulation will arrive in a year's time. No matter how accurate the time, I am unable to be certain. I've already decided on the location of the divine tribulation. It will be on an uninhabited planet in the Immortal Realms Plate Egg Star Field's Angelica de Hurica Galaxy, on the Ridge Peak Star. You only need to arrive at the Jade Wave Star. At that time, my subordinates will naturally lead you to the Ridge Peak Star. The Cyan Emperor spoke of the location and time in detail. The Peng Demon Emperor sent a message. Good, I will definitely arrive at that time. Zhong Yan, you can also spread this news. As long as you're able to arrive at the Ridge Peak Star at that time, you'll be able to witness the ceremony. The Cyan Emperor instructed again. Soon after, the Peng Demon Emperor cut off the transmission with the Cyan Emperor. Merely, this transmission caused the Peng Demon Emperor to feel strange. Inside the Bird Clan's Imperial Palace, the Peng Demon Emperor was frowning and pondering. Your Majesty, Aoku shouted in a low voice. Aoku and Lu Tu were both curious as to what the Peng Demon Emperor was thinking. The Peng Demon Emperor raised his head and looked to Lu Tu and Aoku. Lu Tu, Aoku, let me ask you too, this Cyan Emperor is about to undergo the divine tribulation. Why did he invite everyone from the immortal, devil and demon realm? This divine tribulation is a major event. Isn't he afraid that someone will come and disturb him? Your Majesty, you said that the Cyan Emperor is about to undergo the divine tribulation? Aoku and Lu Tu were both shocked. In their minds, the mysterious immortal Emperor Cyan Emperor was still a level 8 immortal emperor. Who would have thought that he was about to undergo the divine tribulation? That's right, Qi-Ching is about to undergo the divine tribulation. Furthermore, he invited countless people from the immortal, devil and demon realm to witness the ceremony. Say, what exactly is this Qi-Ching trying to do? The Peng Demon Emperor frowned as he pondered. Lu Tu suddenly said, This Cyan Emperor dared to do such a thing. It means that he has sufficient information regarding the divine tribulation and is not afraid that someone will come and disturb him. Aoku also nodded in agreement. Cyan Emperor, that old fox. He's hidden himself deeply. After training for all these years, he definitely has some sort of special method. The Peng Demon Emperor nodded and sneered. When I was still in my childhood, this Qi-Ching was already one of the several overlords of the immortal realm. Yet now, Qi-Ching is not in the limelight anymore. And now, he suddenly invited countless people to witness his divine tribulation. This time around, I shall see exactly what sort of powerful method Qi-Ching has to be this confident in undergoing the divine tribulation. Not only the Peng Demon Emperor, in a single day, the Immortal Realms Emperor Yu, Mystic Emperor and the newly risen Flame Emperor, the Devil Realms Blood Devil Emperor, Black Devil Emperor and Azura Devil Emperor, the Demon Realms Bird Clan, Dragon Clan, Beast Clan and various other major characters had all received the Cyan Emperor's transmission. The content of the transmission was very simple. It was to invite this group of people to witness the divine tribulation. Furthermore, when the Cyan Emperor sent the transmission, he also instructed them to spread the news of the Cyan Emperor's divine tribulation so that even more people could attend the ceremony. All those who were able to arrive on the Ridge Peak Star were to attend the ceremony. To be so extravagant to invite countless experts from the immortal, devil and demon realm to attend the ceremony, this was something that was extremely rare in the history of the immortal, devil and demon realm. Of course, there were people like this in the history. However, the majority of them were the 3 emperors of the demon realm. There was not a single immortal emperor in the immortal realm that dared to do such a thing. Qin Yu, who was on the flowing mist star, had also received the Cyan Emperor's transmission. In the transmission, the Cyan Emperor even praised Qin Yu. He praised Qin Yu for being able to kill a level 8 demon emperor by Feng by himself. This meant that Qin Yu had at least become a peak-level expert in the immortal, devil and demon realm. Only a few people were able to slightly suppress Qin Yu. Flowing Mist Star. Inside the clear flow mansion of the 5 Willows Palace. Fei, Xiaohei, the 2 of you prepare yourselves. We'll set off in 2 days. To us, the Cyan Emperor's divine tribulation this time is also a good opportunity. Let's take a look at the situation of the divine tribulation so that we can prepare ourselves for the divine tribulation in the future. Qin Yu said directly, "Divine tribulation, we must definitely take a look." Ho Fei was a bit excited. Kuro muttered to himself, "Big brother, how many people should we bring this time? The immortal realm is still very far from the flowing mist star. If we were to go, it would take a long time for us to return. The 3 of us, Wu Lan and Bai Ling, will follow us. As for Gua Fan and Little Tong, they'll stay in the 5 Willows Palace and have Dong Shui take care of them. On top of that, this flowing mist star can be considered to be our world. No one would be able to find out about it. It's still very safe." Qin Yu said after thinking for a bit. Kuro and Ho Fei also nodded in agreement. Suddenly, Qin Yu flipped his hand and took out his transmission spiritual pearl. "Qin Yu, you've also received the Cyan Emperor's transmission, right?" This message was sent by the Dragon Clan's prince, Ao Wuming. "I've received it," Qin Yu replied. "Qin Yu, you must definitely go this time. A public divine tribulation, it will definitely attract a large number of experts. Not only will Granny Yin Hua, Emperor Ni and their group of people go, even some of the true hidden experts will appear. Those hidden experts do not care about their reputation. Instead, they care about the divine tribulation. The scene this time will definitely be very big." Ao Wuming seemed to be a bit excited. True hidden experts? Qin Yu was also looking forward to it. Exactly how many hidden experts were there in the immortal, devil and demon realm? Without actually seeing them, no one would know. Chapter 422. 2 days later. Dong Shui, in the period of time that we're gone, Little Tong and Gua Fan are not allowed to leave the flowing mist star. Properly stay in the 5 Willows Palace and train. Qin Yu instructed. "Yes, master," said Dong Shui respectfully. Seeing how serious Qin Yu was, Hei Tong and Gua Fan did not even dare to breathe loudly. Hei Tong already knew that this uncle of hers was usually very good. However, when he became serious, he was the strictest. "Fei, Xiaohei, the 2 of you enter the Jianglan's realm first. I'll have you 2 come out after we enter the immortal realm. This demon realm region is still not safe enough." Qin Yu turned around and said. Qin Yu was certain that this Pang Demon Emperor had never relaxed his search for the 3 of them. With the strength of the Pang Demon Emperor's subordinates, it was simply impossible for them to see through the identities of Qin Yu and them. Most likely, the Pang Demon Emperor had his subordinates pay attention to the 3 extremely powerful men. If the 3 of them were to set off together, there would be the danger of being discovered. However, if Qin Yu were to set off by himself, it could be said that he would be 100% safe. After all, with his current soul's level, even if the Pang Demon Emperor were to arrive before him, he would still not be able to discover his strength. "Big brother, we know. Furthermore, Mixed Hairbird is eager to accompany Bai Ling," Ho Fei said while giggling. Kuro could only smile helplessly. Soon after, Kuro and Ho Fei entered the Jianglan's realm. As for Qin Yu, he directly used greater teleportation by himself and began to rush toward the immortal realm with a frightening speed. The immortal realm was extremely vast. The Beast Clan, Dragon Clan and Bird Clan of the Demon Realm all had their own borders with the immortal realm. Among them, the Beast Clan's borders were the most numerous. The Bird Clan's borders were the least. From the Bird Clan's borders to the immortal realm, there were two paths. The first path was extremely close. It was to cross the Dark Star Realm and enter the immortal realm. Currently, Qin Yu had yet to think about entering the Dark Star Realm. What he chose was the second path, hurrying to the Bird Clan's territory's southeastern region, following the border with the immortal realm and using the interstellar conveying array to rush over. After spending 10 days, Qin Yu leisurely arrived at the border area. There are quite a lot of experts. As soon as he arrived at the border planet, Qin Yu spread out his immortal sense. He immediately discovered that the Bird Clan's only border planet that led to the immortal world actually had nearly 10 Emperor-level experts. The number was really shocking. However, these Emperor-level experts seemed to be in a group and were going through the interstellar teleportation array together. They are probably going to watch the Qing Emperor go through the God's test. Qin Yu moved his feet and went to the side of the interstellar teleportation formation. The exact number of demonic emperors was 8. The 8 demonic emperors were chatting and laughing with one another. The strength of this Eagle clan is really not small. Qin Yu sighed in his heart. Just the 8 demon thearchs before him were from the Eagle tribe. Who knew how many demon thearchs the Eagle tribe had in total? The second strongest faction of the Bird tribe was indeed worthy of its reputation. Qin Yu didn't know much about the Bird clan. Although the Rock clan was the #1 power in the Bird clan, their numbers were far inferior to the Eagle clan. It was just that the Rock clan had 2 types of super divine beasts and many experts, which allowed them to suppress the Eagle clan. As for the Eagle clan, the strongest were only high-level divine beasts. However, they were extremely numerous. Big brother, that man behind us seems to be very powerful. I am unable to see through him. Can you? Amen. Where did this expert come from? I am also unable to see through him. In that case, he is at least a level 7 demon emperor. I reckon that he is some hidden expert of our Bird clan. Our clan chief said that once the news of the Qing Emperor's divine tribulation spread out, it would definitely attract a large number of hidden experts. Hidden experts like them. Normally, one would not be able to see a single one of them. However, this group of people would all appear at such a good opportunity to watch others go through the divine tribulation. Don't randomly look at that man. Who knows how powerful he is? If we were to anger him, we brothers might all die here. Those 8 demon thearchs were conversing with each other using their demon awareness. In the end, they came to a consensus to pretend that they did not see Qin Yu. The 8 of them entered the interstellar teleportation formation in an orderly manner and were then teleported away. Soon after, Qin Yu paid the fee and also stepped into the interstellar teleportation formation. With a flash of light, Qin Yu entered the border planet of the immortal realm from the Bird clan's territory. Qin Yu, Ho Fei and Kuro were flying side by side in the sky, looking at the boundless earth. Immortal realm, this is the immortal realm. I have never been to this place before. Kuro sighed and said. Ho Fei also took a deep breath, nodded and said. I have also never been to this place before. Qin Yu recalled the past. I still remember the time when I entered the demon realm from the immortal realm. At that time, I was chased by Emperor Yu and could only hide in the Jianglan's realm. In the end, I bitterly trained and managed to open the 3rd layer of the 10,000 Beasts Atlas. Only then did I defeat Emperor Yu's troops. If it were now, I would also not fear Emperor Yu in a one-on-one battle. Qin Yu was filled with confidence. 9 Steps Dark Gold Body had reached the 7th stage. Qin Yu was definitely comparable to the level 8 Immortal Emperor Yu from back then. Adding on Qin Yu's astonishing recovery ability, even the current level 9 Immortal Emperor Yu was comparable to Qin Yu. Kaka, big brother, if we were to encounter Emperor Yu and them again, then us three brothers would attack together and beat them all to a pulp. Ho Fei's words contained a trace of tyrannical aura. Qin Yu lightly smiled. Now that the three brothers had joined hands, they truly did not fear Emperor Yu and them at all. The matchless great sword was indeed capable of piercing through his body. However, it would not be as easily pierced through as it was when he first stepped into the Bird Clan's territory. Furthermore, now that the black hole has become even more stable, it would be a bit difficult to make it collapse. Qin Yu was very confident in his own martial technique. Other people's yuanying was very weak. However, his black hole could easily devour other people's sword aura. It was extremely stable. Let's go, us three brothers will have a good stroll around the immortal realm. Hopefully, Emperor Yu and Mystic Emperor will not discover us. If they discover us, then us three brothers will properly trample on them. Qin Yu said with a big laugh. Ho Fei and Kuroa's eyes were also shining. Soon after, the three brothers began to wander the immortal realm arrogantly. They were not in a hurry to rush to the Angelica de Hurica Galaxy's Ridge Peak star. Although the date of the heavenly tribulation was not accurate, it was still roughly a year or so. It would not be too late for Qin Yu and them to rush over after playing for half a year. The three brothers hid their strength and wandered the immortal realm. They had also encountered many people who overestimated themselves. Naturally, the three brothers easily defeated them. When facing different people, they would either punish them a little or restrict their martial power as punishment. As for those excessively hateful scum, they would directly kill them. The free and unfettered days were even filled with a sense of chivalry. The three brothers wantonly ate and drank all over the immortal realm. They enjoyed the unique sceneries of some of the planets in the immortal realm. Although it was only half a year, the three brothers had a much more enjoyable time than the past 1,000 years. Angelica de Hurica Galaxy, Jade Wave Star. Following a burst of light, Qin Yu and the other two arrived at the Jade Wave Star. Compared to the past, the three brothers who had experienced half a year of wandering life were a lot more cheerful. Jade Wave Star. Qin Yu scanned his surroundings. He recalled a time when he left the Jade Wave Star and was surrounded by Emperor Yu. I'm afraid that the Cyan Emperor must have something to do with the Cyan Emperor. Qin Yu understood it very well. However, he did not wish to have another enemy. Furthermore, after interacting with the Cyan Emperor, he felt that the Cyan Emperor was a pretty good person. Seniors, may I ask if the three of you are here to watch His Majesty's divine tribulation? A man wearing a standard battle armor walked over. Yes. Qin Yu nodded. May I know where the Ridge Peak Star is? The man wearing the standard battle armor smiled and said, His Majesty has already made arrangements. There are 3 newly built teleportation arrays there. The teleportation arrays lead to the Ridge Peak Star. The 3 of you can enter. As for the fee, it is 1 low-grade elemental holy ore. 1. Qin Yu was slightly stunned. Even the closest place would cost at least 2 low-grade elemental holy ore. Because one of them was used to supply the teleportation array and the other was the profit earned by the planet controller. Yes. His Majesty set the fee at 1 low-grade elemental holy ore. It is just a formality. His Majesty would not care about such a small teleportation fee. The man wearing the battle armor had a trace of admiration in his eyes. The Cyan Emperor had a very high reputation in the immortal realm. After all, time was the best trial stone. The Cyan Emperor had stood proudly in the immortal realm for so long. There was no need to doubt his strength and status. There were also many people who worshipped him. This Cyan Emperor is really something. I admire him. Ho Fei admired the Cyan Emperor, whom he had never met before, just from the fee of 1 low-grade elemental holy ore. He handed over a low-grade elemental holy ore. Qin Yu and his brothers stepped into one of the interstellar teleportation arrays. With a flash of light, the 3 brothers arrived at the Ridge Peak Star from the Jade Wave Star. Ridge Peak Star. This planet was originally a desolate and nameless planet. The name Ridge Peak Star was just given by the Cyan Emperor. However, ever since the Cyan Emperor decided to use this place for his tribulation, the name Ridge Peak Star was already decided. It would no longer remain unknown. The reason why the Ridge Peak star was named Ridge Peak was because this planet had many tall mountains. The mountains were mainly divided into 3 colors: scarlet red, white, and gray. 3 seniors. The moment Qin Yu and his brothers came out, a woman said respectfully, "The 3 seniors are Emperor-level experts. You can follow me to the first region to watch the scene of His Majesty's tribulation." Qin Yu, Hou Fei and Kuro glanced at each other and could not help but laugh. The Saiyan Emperor's arrangements were really good. "You lead the way," Qin Yu said with a smile. Then, the 3 brothers followed behind the woman and flew towards the north at high speed. There were many people on the Ridge Peak star. Qin Yu's immortal sense only covered a portion of the sky, and he discovered no less than 1,000,000 cultivators. Almost all of these cultivators were immortals. There were very few people from the Devil World and the Demon World. How can ordinary people travel from the Demon World and the Devil World to the Ridge Peak star in the Immortal World in a year? Qin Yu understood in his heart that the reason why there were so many people in the Immortal World was because they had the geographical advantage. Qin Yu could clearly sense that the entire Ridge Peak star had been set up with an extremely vast restriction. The outermost layer was where the Sky Immortal experts were, the middle layer was where the Golden Immortal experts were, and the innermost layer, the so-called First Region, was where the Emperor-level experts were. The Saiyan Emperor did not send people to build any courtyards in the outermost and middle layers. Those courtyards were built by the Immortals themselves. As for the First Region, there were many courtyards. These were specially built by the Saiyan Emperor's people. Qin Yu and the other 2 followed the woman and landed at the entrance of the First Region. "Seniors, you may enter. There will be people inside who will arrange for your accommodations." Qin Yu and the other 2 nodded and then stepped into the entrance of the First Region. At the entrance, there were 4 immortal emperors waiting. The leader was an old acquaintance of Qin Yu, the 4th disciple of the Saiyan Emperor, Immortal Emperor Song Shi. He was the young man Qin Yu had met at Crescent Moon Bay. "Brother Song Shi." Qin Yu smiled and called out. Immortal Emperor Song Shi, who had been talking with someone, turned his head. Qin Yu had already reverted to his original appearance. Song Shi said in surprise, "Qin Yu, you're here? Are these 2 the brothers you're looking for?" "That's right. This is my 2nd brother Hou Fei. This is my 3rd brother Kuro," Qin Yu said magnanimously. "Oh, Hou Fei, Kuro, I've already heard about the achievements of you 3 brothers. The future Great Ape Emperor and a person wanted to kill by the Pang Demon Emperor. You 3 brothers are truly powerful. Even Demon Emperor Bai Feng was killed by you 3, said Immortal Emperor Song Shi with a smile. Hou Fei said, "Hey, has that Emperor Yu and Mystic Emperor come?" "Not yet. Even the Pang Demon Emperor hasn't come. I reckon he'll come in a couple days. However, there are already several hundred Emperor-level experts in the First Region. There are even some extremely powerful hidden experts," sighed Immortal Emperor Song Shi. Qin Yu and his brothers were all shocked. Several hundred Emperor-level experts, it was truly astonishing. In the past, they had only seen several tens of Emperor-level experts. "Qin Yu, come. I've already arranged your residence. It's near Granny Yin Hua's place," said Immortal Emperor Song Shi with a smile. "Granny Yin Hua has also come?" Qin Yu started to chat with Immortal Emperor Song Shi. "That's right. Emperor Nai has also come." "Qin Yu, I've only come to know one thing now. So the strongest in the Devil Realm are not the Blood Devil Emperor, the Black Devil Emperor and the Azura Devil Emperor. There are even stronger experts. I've only seen 2 of them," said Immortal Emperor Song Shi mysteriously. Oh. Qin Yu was already prepared. This time around, he would definitely see a lot of hidden experts. Hidden Emperor and the Black and White Dual Emperors have also arrived. There's also that granddaughter of the Hidden Emperor, said Immortal Emperor Song Shi with a smile. Senior Hidden Emperor is very concerned about Master's divine tribulation this time around. Qin Yu also smiled. How could he not be concerned? Hidden Emperor was also someone who was about to undergo his divine tribulation. Unfortunately, that brat Emperor Yu hasn't arrived yet. Ho Fei muttered in dissatisfaction. Hearing that, Qin Yu couldn't help but smile. Before coming here, Ho Fei had already said that he was going to teach Emperor Yu a lesson. Granny Yin Hua's residence is just ahead. Immortal Emperor Song Shi only spoke half of his words before frowning. He took out a transmission spiritual pearl. Soon after, he raised his head and said to Qin Yu with a smile, "You guys have come at the right time." Earlier, the guards of the Jade Wave Star sent a message saying that Emperor Yu and Mystic Emperor have already arrived. I'll have to personally go and welcome them. Emperor Yu and Mystic Emperor have arrived? Qin Yu, Ho Fei and Kuroa's eyes flashed with a sharp glint. Chapter 423. The desolate and nameless planet Ridge Peak Star had now become very famous. At the same time, a large amount of experts had gathered here. The number of immortal emperors, demon emperors and devil emperors was frighteningly large. Those level 2 and 3 immortal emperors that used to be the overlords of some galaxies were all well behaved and did not dare to be arrogant in the slightest. The first region was the region where the emperor-level experts lived. At this moment, Qin Yu and his brothers were together with Immortal Emperor Song Shi. Seeing the current expression of Qin Yu and his brothers, Immortal Emperor Song Shi felt a trace of helplessness in his heart. Immediately he urged, "Brother Qin Yu, please help us. This time around, Master is going to undergo the divine tribulation. Master does not wish for anyone to cause trouble here. I know that you have some hatred with that Emperor Yu and Mystic Emperor. Let's settle these matters after Master finishes his divine tribulation. How about that?" Qin Yu, Ho Fei and Kuro glanced at each other. The three brothers had already made their decision. Fighting here would cause too much of a disturbance. Let's talk about it later. Qin Yu made his decision. Qin Yu also knew when to advance and when to retreat. There were several hundred experts gathered here. There were at least 10 level 9 immortal emperors. If they were to fight here, it would be very troublesome. Thank you so much, Brother Qin Yu. Granny Yin Hua has already come out and is with Emperor Ni. Brother Qin Yu, you can go and see Granny Yin Hua first. Your residence is in the courtyard on the right side of Granny Yin Hua. I've already prepared it. Well then, I'll go and receive Emperor Yu and Mystic Emperor first. Immortal Emperor Song Shi clasped his hands gratefully and then left. Usually, the major characters such as Emperor Yu, Flame Emperor and Blood Devil Emperor would all be personally received by Immortal Emperor Song Shi. Song Shi was the personal disciple of the Cyan Emperor. Furthermore, he was a level 7 Immortal Emperor. Him personally receiving them was already giving enough face to Emperor Yu and them. Hey! Ho Fei curled his lips and scolded in a low voice. I wanted to seize this opportunity to teach Emperor Yu and Mystic Emperor a lesson. When they gather with Pang Demon Emperor, there won't be such a good opportunity anymore. Kuro nodded in agreement. Qin Yu lightly smiled. Who cares if the two of them are colluding or not? The experts here are all from all over the immortal, devil and demon realm. Even the Great Ape Emperor and them would be here. Even if the Pang Demon Emperor wanted to attack, he would not dare to do so here. Let's wait for them to separate. The Pang Demon Emperor's speed is too fast, he's very hard to deal with. If we were to encounter the Pang Demon Emperor, we can just run away. As for Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor, we will be able to kill them. Qin Yu now had sufficient confidence. Qin Yu and the other two's strength had increased. With their current strength, even if they couldn't defeat the other party, they had enough capital to escape. Qin Yu didn't think that running away was because he was incompetent. On the contrary, he liked to see the irritation and anger of others when they couldn't catch him. Granny Yin Hua is looking over here. Let's go and greet her. Qin Yu said via voice transmission. Immediately after, Qin Yu and his brothers followed the Bluestone Road and directly walked toward Granny Yin Hua and Emperor Ni. With Qin Yu's current strength, even if he was a level 9 Immortal Emperor, Qin Yu would still be able to see through him. However, no matter how hard he tried, he was unable to see through Granny Yin Hua. Granny Yin Hua had a benevolent appearance and gave people a feeling of cordiality. As for the level 9 demon Emperor Ni, she had a bewitching appearance and was extremely moving. At the same time, she possessed a kind of nobility that came from her bones. Big Sister Yin Hua, this Qin Yu's cultivation speed is truly fast. Now, even I am barely able to sense his strength," exclaimed Emperor Ni. Granny Yin Hua smiled and narrowed her eyes. She nodded and said, "Not bad. However, this kid still needs to work hard." Granny, Senior Emperor Ni. Qin Yu finally arrived in front of Granny Yin Hua and said respectfully. Granny Yin Hua was all smiles as her gaze swept past Ho Fei and Kuro. She said kindly, "Qin Yu, the two young men beside you are the two brothers that you're looking for, right?" "That's right. Granny, this is my second brother, Ho Fei. This is my third brother, Kuro." Qin Yu turned around and looked at Ho Fei and Kuro. "Fei, Xiao Hei, come and greet Granny." Ho Fei chuckled, then casually cupped his hands and said, "Junior Ho Fei greets Granny Yin Hua and Senior Emperor Ni. Junior Kuro greets the two seniors." Kuro was instead serious in speech and manner. His face was ice cold. Emperor Ni wore a red gown. With a rough glance, it appeared as if her entire body was burning with flames. Emperor Ni's eyes shined as she looked at Ho Fei and Kuro. "Qin Yu, the strength of these two brothers of yours is not weak either." Fiery-eyed water ape. Level 7 demon emperor. On top of that, the stick techniques unique to the ape and monkey clan, their strength is likely comparable to level 9 immortal emperors. For this Kuro to be chased by the Pang demon emperor so hard, I'm afraid he's not ordinary either. So. I'm ranked third among the three brothers. Ho Fei laughed and said, "You're truly a crafty monkey." Granny Yin Hua smiled and pointed. At this moment, Qin Yu suddenly sensed something and turned around. Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor were walking toward them side by side. At the same time, the Mystic Emperor Xian she was casually chatting with Immortal Emperor Song Shi beside her. And at this moment, Emperor Yu and Xian she also saw Qin Yu and his brothers. Emperor Yu's eyes burst forth with a sharp cold light. Qin Yu's mind moved. It seems that this Emperor Yu still bears a grudge against me. Furthermore, he hates me to the bone. "Fei, Xiao Hei, let's go and greet our good friends," Qin Yu said with a smile. Once Ho Fei and Kuro heard this, a strange smile appeared on their faces. Qin Yu and his brothers also walked toward Emperor Yu side by side. The Bluestone Road was not very wide. It was only about 3 meters wide. With the three of them walking side by side, they completely occupied this road. Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor also stopped. Qin Yu and his brothers were on one side and Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor were on the other side. These two sides were only about 10 meters apart from each other. To them, a distance of 10 meters was completely negligible. The two sides emitted a sharp aura as they stood opposite each other. "Qin Yu, you've reached level 9 Immortal Emperor?" Emperor Yu's expression suddenly changed. He discovered that he could only faintly feel Qin Yu's strength. It seemed that Qin Yu's soul realm was about the same as his own. "Level 9 Immortal Emperor, you can say so," Qin Yu said as he looked at Emperor Yu. If Emperor Yu wanted to think so, Qin Yu would not deny it. How is that possible? Back then on the Reef Yellow Star, you had only reached level 1 Immortal Emperor and had just opened the third layer of the 10,000 Beasts Atlas. But now, it's only been a few hundred years? Emperor Yu's complexion was slightly pale. Reaching level 9 Immortal Emperor in less than 1,000 years, this was indeed a frightening matter. Qin Yu merely smiled. Qin Yu himself did not say anything and let Emperor Yu's imagination run wild. Emperor Yu's soul realm was about the same as Qin Yu's. Thus, he was unable to clearly see through Qin Yu. That was why he made a series of conjectures. "Hey, you're Emperor Yu?" Ho Fei fiercely stared at Emperor Yu. Fiery-eyed water ape. You're Qin Yu's second brother, Hou Fei? The Hou Fei who ascended less than 1,000 years ago? How is that possible? Emperor Yu's pupils shrunk. At this moment, Emperor Yu's heart was in chaos. What exactly is going on? How many years has it been since Hou Fei ascended? How did he reach level 7 Demon Emperor? A level 7 Demon Emperor super divine beast and the ape and monkey clan's special ability to comprehend the Tao through battle. I reckon that he's not much weaker than me. Emperor Yu looked at Kuro again. You're Qin Yu's third brother, Kuro? That's right. Compared to Big Brother and Monkey, my strength is a bit weaker. Kuro said coldly. Weak. A level 6 Demon Emperor variation super divine beast didn't seem to be very strong. However, Kuro had ascended less than 1,000 years ago. How could Emperor Yu possibly think of the existence of an abnormal divine artifact like the Zhonglan's realm? Emperor Yu came to a complete realization. At this moment, Emperor Yu understood one thing. Qin Yu and his brothers would not be afraid of him and his wife when they saw them. Instead, they would come up to them and kill them. That time, it was because the Dragon Emperor protected us that we did not kill this Qin Yu. Who would have thought that he would reach such a level? In the future, if we want to kill him, it'll be difficult. Emperor Yu frowned. Brother Feng Yu, it's difficult for us to kill them. However, it's also difficult for them to kill us. Xian Shi comforted. Mystic Emperor, you've actually reached level 9 Immortal Emperor. Your speed is truly fast. Qin Yu had an appearance of admiration. Xian Shi had indeed reached level 9 Immortal Emperor. She and Emperor Yu were dual cultivating. Borrowing the special state of dual cultivation, she was able to clearly sense Emperor Yu's comprehension of the cosmic space. This allowed Xian Shi to quickly break through level 8 Immortal Emperor and reach level 9 Immortal Emperor. So what if there were 2 level 9 Immortal Emperors? Qin Yu and Hou Fei each took one. If Kuro were to launch a sneak attack, they would still be able to easily deal with him. Is it fast to reach level 9 Immortal Emperor? No matter how fast it is, it's still inferior to you. Xian Shi said with a smile. It was as if she did not have any killing intent. Immortal Emperor Song Shi, who stood beside Emperor Yu and Mystic Emperor, had a bitter taste in his mouth. He did not wish for Qin Yu and his brothers to fight against Emperor Yu and Mystic Emperor. If these two groups of people were to fight against each other, it was very possible that they would fight. Brother Qin Yu. Immortal Emperor Song Shi spoke. Qin Yu lightly smiled. Emperor Yu, I wonder if you still remember the words I said when you and your wife launched a sneak attack on me. Emperor Yu and Mystic Emperor's complexion slightly changed. I, Qin Yu, hereby swear that I will definitely kill you one day. I, Qin Yu, and you, Emperor Yu, will not rest until one of us is dead. The oath from back then seemed to be ringing in their ears. However, the smile on Qin Yu's face was somewhat cold. Qin Yu sneered and said, What the two of you did to me in the past, I will definitely return it back several-fold. Don't bullshit with me. Emperor Yu, Mystic Emperor, if the two of you have the ability, immediately undergo the divine tribulation and ascend to the divine realm earlier. That way, the two of you might still be able to live a bit longer in the divine realm. Otherwise, with my cultivation speed, I will definitely surpass the two of you easily. At that time, humph humph. Qin Yu did not give Emperor Yu and Mystic Emperor any face. He was also disinclined to give them any face. Things had already come to this point. Was there still any room for negotiation? If he, Qin Yu, was still able to endure it now, he would not have any self-respect left. Worthy nephew Song Shi, did you hear that? It's not that I don't want to give you face. Emperor Yu turned around and said to Immortal Emperor Song Shi. Immortal Emperor Song Shi felt a headache. Chi! Sparks seemed to appear in the space. At the same time, the space started to distort. An extremely sharp energy tore through the space and instantly arrived before Qin Yu. Qin Yu only saw a pair of eyes filled with killing intent. As for Qin Yu, it was as if he was already prepared. He extended his right index finger. Bang! The space returned to normal. The figure of Emperor Yu, who was talking to immortal Emperor Song Shi, gradually disappeared. Another figure of Emperor Yu appeared before Qin Yu. Emperor Yu's index finger and Qin Yu's index finger collided. At the same time, the divine sword in Emperor Yu's hand, Great Emperor's sword, was blocked by Qin Yu's divine sword, Sky Piercer. The two of them stood there motionlessly. Their eyes were fixed on each other. However, the ground had already turned into fine powder. Never would I have thought that Emperor Yu's finger technique was this powerful. The lightning energy contained within it is the strongest I've ever seen. Qin Yu said with a smile. In an instant earlier, Emperor Yu's figure was already like lightning. His divine sword contained an astonishing amount of immortal elemental energy and wanted to pierce through Qin Yu's dantian. As for his left index finger, he used another absolute art in a futile attempt to shatter Qin Yu's head. What a hard finger! Emperor, you only managed to squeeze out these two words. Then, his figure turned illusory and he returned to the mystic Emperor's side. Right at this moment, a boundless voice sounded in the sky. Feng Yu, Qin Yu. This time, I am the one undergoing the heavenly tribulation. I hope that the two of you will not make a big fuss. I'll let it go this time. However, if one of you dares to make a move again, the next time, I, Qi Qing, will personally punish you. Cyan Emperor's tyrannical voice transmission was not only heard by Qin Yu and them. Even the other Emperor-level experts on the Ridge Peak Star heard it clearly. Punish? Humph. Emperor Yu coldly humphed. The mystic Emperor's expression was also somewhat ugly. Nominally, Cyan Emperor's status was equal to Emperor Yu and them. However, from Cyan Emperor's words, it was very clear that he did not place Emperor Yu and them in his eyes. It was as if he could punish them whenever he wanted. Cyan Emperor is finally no longer hiding his strength? Qin Yu was not angry. That day at the Crescent Moon Bay, from what Granny Yin Hua and them said, this Cyan Emperor's strength was not inferior to the Dragon Emperor's. The mysterious Cyan Emperor was undergoing his heavenly tribulation in such a public manner. And now, he was using such a tyrannical voice transmission to threaten Emperor Yu and himself. It would appear that he no longer wanted to hide his strength. Little friend Qin Yu. A familiar voice sounded from behind him. Qin Yu turned around to look. He saw Hidden Emperor, Black and White Emperors and Hidden Emperor's granddaughter, Lin Lin, walking over. As for Granny Yin Hua and Emperor Ni, they had already returned to their own residences. Lin Lin also came in? Qin Yu was slightly surprised. This was the first region. In reality, Cyan Emperor was only giving face to Hidden Emperor. Seeing Lin Lin, Qin Yu couldn't help but think of his disciple, Lu Honshu. That simple and honest youth. Unfortunately, his only disciple had already died. Senior Hidden Emperor. Qin Yu smiled as he walked up to greet him. Let's chat at my residence. There are too many people here. That's true. Hidden Emperor Lin Yin nodded. Lin Lin also looked at Qin Yu. Qin Yu also smiled at Lin Lin. Ho Fei and Kuro muttered to themselves. This big brother of theirs knew too many people. It seemed that Qin Yu knew all the experts. Chapter 424. The Peng Demon Emperor has come? Qin Yu's relaxed heart immediately tensed up. He then said to Ho Fei and Kuro beside him, Fei, Xiaohei, come with me. The Dragon Emperor, Ao Wuming and the Great Ape Emperor have all come. The Great Ape Emperor has also come? Ho Fei immediately stood up. Kuro, on the other hand, did not really care about it. Not only them, there's another person. The Peng Demon Emperor. The Peng Demon Emperor has come together with the Dragon Emperor and them. Qin Yu muttered. This matter is a bit troublesome. This Peng Demon Emperor is extremely reclusive. He might disregard the face of the Dragon Emperor and them and directly attack us. With the speed of the Peng Demon Emperor, no one would be able to stop him in time. What Big Brother said is correct. With the temperament of the Peng Demon Emperor, he might really attack us directly. Mixed Hairbird, it's best that you don't meet with that Pang Demon Emperor for the time being. The person that Pang Demon Emperor wants to kill the most is you. Ho Fei reminded. Kuro had an ice-cold expression. I'll go out with you all. Qin Yu looked to Xiao Hei. He knew very well of Xiao Hei's temperament. It was very hard to persuade him. However, what he had guessed earlier might not necessarily happen. Furthermore, with his speed, he ought to be able to take Xiao Hei into the Jianglan's realm in time. Furthermore, in this first region, there was also Granny Yin Hua whom even Qin Yu was unable to see through. Let's go, we'll go out and welcome the Dragon Emperor and them together. Qin Yu decided. The Great Ape Emperor, the Dragon Emperor and them, Qin Yu and them must definitely welcome them. The three brothers left the courtyard and walked along the Bluestone Road toward the entrance of the first region. In merely a short moment, Qin Yu saw a couple familiar figures. Pang Demon Emperor Zhong Yan, who was completely golden in color, Level 8 Demon Emperor Ao Ku and Level 8 Demon Emperor Lu Tuesday. These three people were leading a large group of Demon Emperors and walking over. This group of people were evidently from the Bird Clan. Qin Yu's immortal awareness immediately discovered that three groups of people had entered in succession. The first group was from the Bird Clan. The second group was from the Dragon Clan led by the Dragon Emperor. The third group was from the Beast Clan led by the Ox Demon Emperor and the Great Ape Emperor. Kuro. Once the Pang Demon Emperor saw Kuro, killing intent appeared in his eyes. He was about to attack at once. The moment Immortal Emperor Song Shi, who was leading the way at the front, saw Kuro, he immediately felt that something was amiss. He immediately said, "Senior Pang Demon Emperor, my master had said that this time around, it is his senior who is undergoing the divine tribulation. All those who have come to this place to observe the divine tribulation are not allowed to fight each other. If anyone were to violate this rule, my master would not hesitate to personally take action." Qi Qing really said that. The Pang Demon Emperor looked to Immortal Emperor Song Shi. His gaze was ice-cold. That's right. Immortal Emperor Song Shi raised his head and looked at the Pang Demon Emperor face to face. He did not back down in the slightest. At this moment, Qin Yu was paying attention with his immortal awareness the entire time. His eyes were also fixed on the Pang Demon Emperor. The Pang Demon Emperor has never cared about anyone before. Perhaps he might really attack. Qin Yu was very careful. Not good. Qin Yu's body that had been in the storing power state the entire time suddenly moved like a spring. He directly moved in front of Kuro. However, after only moving for such a short distance, the golden ray of light that the Pang Demon Emperor had transformed into actually arrived in front of Qin Yu. His speed was so fast that it was frightening. Bang! A walking stick collided with the Pang Demon Emperor's golden Pang Claw. The golden ray of light flew back. The Pang Demon Emperor had returned to his original location. Pang Demon Emperor's pupils shrunk. He was firmly staring at the old lady in front of Qin Yu. Granny Yin Hua. So you're Granny Yin Hua. The Pang Demon Emperor had already heard of Granny Yin Hua's great name. Merely, at that time, Granny Yin Hua had only used a secret technique to transmit her image. This was also the first time that the Pang Demon Emperor had met Granny Yin Hua. Granny Yin Hua had a kind expression. She coughed a couple times. "Sigh, I'm old now. I'm useless." Qin Yu almost laughed out loud. Granny Yin Hua was indeed as frightening as he had imagined her to be. When the Pang Demon Emperor attacked, Granny Yin Hua was still quite a distance away from Qin Yu. The Pang Demon Emperor attacked first and then Granny Yin Hua. However, Granny Yin Hua managed to block the Pang Demon Emperor. In terms of speed, Granny Yin Hua was even faster than the Pang Demon Emperor. As the Pang Demon Emperor possessed an inherited treasure, his strongest point was his speed. However, Granny Yin Hua was even faster. Merely this point had caused the Pang Demon Emperor to feel a bit apprehensive. That Qi Qing has also recognized me as his big sister. Thus, I cannot not give him face. Since he said that he would not allow anyone to attack here, I must also help him stop it. Am I right? Granny Yin Hua said with a beaming smile. At this moment, no one dared to look down on this granny. The Peng Demon Emperor merely stared at Granny Yin Hua. No one knew what he was thinking. The sound of the air vibrating was heard. The Dragon Emperor, Ao Wuming, Ox Demon Emperor, Great Ape Emperor and them flew over from the Bird Clan's group of demon emperors and landed beside the Peng Demon Emperor. Zhong Yan, what are you doing? Said the Great Ape Emperor Sun Yuan with a smile. Could it be that you're planning to attack the next clan chief of our ape and monkey clan? No, said the Peng Demon Emperor directly. Earlier, I merely wanted to capture him. That's right, capture him. Earlier, the Peng Demon Emperor only wanted to instantly imprison Kuro's strength and capture him. He simply did not dare to kill Kuro. That was because he had sworn to Bai Xian that he would not kill Kuro. Capture him. Say, Zhong Yan, aren't you a bit too disrespectful to Qi Qing? This time around, it's Qi Qing who is undergoing his divine tribulation. Mocked the Dragon Emperor. The Peng Demon Emperor took a glance at the Great Ape Emperor and the Dragon Emperor. He snorted. He knew that with the Great Ape Emperor and the Dragon Emperor here, even if he wanted to attack, it would still be very troublesome. Qin Yu, his brothers, the Peng Demon Emperor, the Dragon Emperor and them were all gathered here. Immediately, they attracted the gazes of a large amount of Emperor-level experts from afar. Merely, that group of experts did not dare to approach them. Huff! A cyan-clothed figure suddenly appeared in the air. He then descended to the ground and stood between Qin Yu, his brothers and the Peng Demon Emperor and them. This person was precisely the Cyan Emperor who was about to undergo his divine tribulation. Qi Qing's entire body was emitting a comfortable aura. Qi Qing merely took a glance at the two sides. He then lightly smiled and said to the Peng Demon Emperor, Brother Zhong Yan, I have invited you to watch my divine tribulation. I hope that you can give me this face. I do not wish for anyone to fight here. Good, I'll give you this face. Let's go, said the Peng Demon Emperor coldly. He then soared into the sky. Behind him, Ao Ku, Lu Tu and a large group of demon emperors also soared into the sky. Soon after, this group of demon emperors flew toward their own courtyard. The Cyan Emperor merely took a glance at the Peng Demon Emperor who flew away. He lightly smiled and then looked to Qin Yu. He laughed and said, Little brother Qin Yu, you've brought me a lot of trouble. Qin Yu could only smile. And at this moment, Qin Yu suddenly turned around and looked to the distance. In the distant sky, Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor were leading their subordinates and welcoming the Peng Demon Emperor and them. They were even chatting and laughing with each other. These two groups of people have indeed joined hands. Not only Qin Yu, Ho Fei, Kuro, the Dragon Emperor and them had also noticed this. Everyone, please rest. I reckon that the day of my divine tribulation will be in a month's time. In this month's time, I must properly prepare and thus cannot greet everyone. Please forgive me, said the Cyan Emperor to the surrounding people. You still need to prepare? The Dragon Emperor ridiculed. The Cyan Emperor started to laugh. Ha ha. Ha ha. The Dragon Emperor also started to laugh. The Dragon Emperor, Emperor and I, the Cyan Emperor and that Gold Punishment Lord from back then possessed a very good relationship. They all knew each other very well. Seeing this, Qin Yu couldn't help but sigh in his heart. This Cyan Emperor is truly confident in his divine tribulation. No wonder he dared to publicly allow so many people to come and watch his divine tribulation. He's also not afraid that others would disturb him. The days of waiting were not boring at all. That was because there were many friends here. At the same time, there were also many immortal emperors, demon emperors and even devil emperors that came to pay Qin Yu a visit. Qin Yu and his brothers, their fame had spread far and wide. Furthermore, not long ago, Emperor Yu had mounted a sneak attack on Qin Yu and managed to tie with Qin Yu. Qin Yu's strength was clear to all. The news of this simple fight had also spread out. The combined strength of Qin Yu and his brothers was comparable to the combined strength of Hidden Emperor and Black and White Dual Emperors. There were naturally a lot of people that wanted to befriend them. Inside Qin Yu's courtyard. Brother Qin Yu, there's no need to send me off. Farewell. That handsome golden-clothed youth bid farewell to Qin Yu. Qin Yu and his brothers watched as the golden-clothed youth left. Then, they closed the door. Hey, big brother, I don't think this Flame Emperor's strength is that great. Isn't he only a level 8 immortal emperor? How did he manage to rise to a position comparable to Emperor Yu and Mystic Emperor combined? Ho Fei said. That golden-clothed youth from earlier was the Flame Emperor that had just risen to power in the immortal realm. Don't look down on that Flame Emperor. Qin Yu said solemnly. I feel that this Flame Emperor is not as simple as he seems. So much so that I feel that he's even more powerful than Emperor Yu. Of course, this is only a feeling. Is he that powerful? Ho Fei was shocked. Kuro also looked to Qin Yu in confusion. A level 8 immortal emperor shouldn't be that powerful. Qin Yu and his brothers were currently uncertain. However, in the future, when Qin Yu's status increases and he meets with the big shots of various powers, only then would Qin Yu truly know the reason why this Flame Emperor was so threatening. Of course, that was a matter for the future. It had already been a month since the Pang Demon Emperor attacked. Logically, the day of the Cyan Emperor's divine tribulation should have arrived. However, there was no news of it. Qin Yu, Ho Fei, Kuro, Bai Ling, Yi Chu and Ao Wushu were all in the courtyard. Bai Ling, Yi Chu and Ao Wushu had never seen anyone undergo a divine tribulation before. Thus, they wanted to watch. However, Wu Lan did not come out from the Jiang Lan's realm. According to Wu Lan's words, he said, too lazy to watch. Right when they were chatting, a voice suddenly resounded through the sky. Everyone, tomorrow is the day that I, Qi Qing, will undergo my divine tribulation. At that time, please stay in your respective regions and watch. Do not enter the core region of my divine tribulation. This was the voice of the Cyan Emperor. Immediately after, the voice disappeared. Following this news, the entire Ridge Peak Star became lively. Countless people began to discuss this news. As for Qin Yu and them, they also became happy. Finally, they did not have to continue to wait. When the day of the divine tribulation arrived, the number of Emperor-level experts in the first region had already surpassed 1,000. In the entire immortal, devil and demon realm, it was estimated that at least 80% of the Emperor-level experts had arrived on the Ridge Peak Star. After all, to watch the divine tribulation, practically all of the Emperor-level experts were attracted. The majority of them did not even know what the divine tribulation was. Qin Yu, Ho Fei and them also did not know what the divine tribulation was. On the day of the divine tribulation, over 100 million cultivators were gathered on the Ridge Peak Star. The first region had over 1,000 Emperor-level experts. The second region had over 100 million golden immortal-level experts. The third region had mostly heavenly immortals. As for heavenly demons and heavenly demons, they were extremely few. Densely packed, countless figures flew into the sky. Each and every one of them stood in the sky and watched the core region from afar. Inside the first region, practically everyone was watching from the sky. Qin Yu and his group were also doing the same. Qin Yu swept his gaze over the Dragon Emperor, Ao Wuming, Great Ape Emperor, Ox Demon Emperor, Pung Demon Emperor, Emperor Yu, Mystic Emperor, Flame Emperor, Blood Devil Emperor, and other groups of experts were all in the sky. The core region was about 10 miles in circumference. This was the place where the Cyan Emperor was preparing to undergo his divine tribulation. Brother Qin Yu. Immortal Emperor Song She flew to Qin Yu's side. I'll watch with you all. That's good. Song She, why aren't you with your senior brother and them? Qin Yu asked. Immortal Emperor Song She was the fourth disciple of the Cyan Emperor. The Cyan Emperor had a total of 5 disciples. Each and every one of them were Emperor-level experts. The strongest 5th disciple had even reached level 8 Immortal Emperor. Eldest senior brother and 5th junior brother don't get along. It's annoying for me to be there. Song She shook his head helplessly. Qin Yu smiled. Oh, that's right. Why did Granny Yin Hua disappear? Qin Yu asked. Granny Yin Hua's residence was right beside Qin Yu's residence. If Granny Yin Hua was here, Qin Yu would be able to easily see her. Oh, Granny Yin Hua. She seemed to have something important to do and left early. Song Shi explained. Qin Yu nodded. This Granny Yin Hua likely didn't care about undergoing the divine tribulation. Her strength was clear for all to see. Big brother, the divine tribulation has begun. Ho Fei reminded. Qin Yu immediately looked toward the core region. In that core region with a circumference of 10 miles, there was only the Saiyan Emperor. The Saiyan Emperor stood on the ground with his hands behind his back. He did not use any formation arrays nor did he make any preparations. He just stood there on the ground like that. The clear sky instantly turned dark. The entire Ridge Peak star immediately turned dark. The entire Ridge Peak star was quiet, terrifyingly quiet. All of the people who were watching the divine tribulation were carefully watching. No one said anything. In the dark sky, an enormous dark red-colored vortex suddenly appeared. That vortex was at least several thousand miles in circumference. It was spinning unceasingly. Its frightening energy caused the entire space to start to vibrate. Chi. The entire space of the Ridge Peak star was flowing with electric currents. The space was ionized. Fortunately, the electric currents did not have much of an effect on the experts. Qin Yu, Ho Fei, Kuro, Yi Chu, Peng Demon Emperor, Emperor Yu, Hidden Emperor, and countless other experts were all raising their heads and staring at that enormous dark red-colored vortex. That dark red-colored vortex was faintly flickering with blue-colored lightning. At the same time, the dark red-colored vortex started to spin. Its speed was not fast. However, there was a strange pattern to it. What's going on? Everyone was shocked to see this scene. Merely because the dark red-colored vortex was spinning, it caused the space within a radius of about a mile with the Saiyan Emperor as the center to be completely distorted. Everyone was able to faintly see the figure of the Saiyan Emperor in that distorted space. Big brother, a great formation array appeared in that dark red-colored vortex. Said Kuro via voice transmission. Qin Yu also raised his head to look. Sure enough, the dark blue-colored lightning that was originally hidden in the depths of the dark red-colored vortex started to appear. After those dark blue-colored lightning appeared on the surface of the dark red-colored vortex, it formed a dark blue circular Great Formation Array. That Great Formation Array was in the shape of a ring. Inside the ring were numerous peculiar trajectories. At the same time, the dark blue-colored lightning was unceasingly flowing through the trajectories of the formation array. What sort of formation array was this? 3 Great Divine Tribulation. This ought to be the first Great Divine Tribulation. Muttered Song Shi. Chapter 425. The sky was dusky and the earth was dark. Black clouds were rolling about. In the center of the black clouds was an enormous red-colored vortex with a circumference of several thousand miles. It was spinning unceasingly, causing the space of a mile around the Saiyan Emperor to be completely distorted. Qin Yu, the Dragon Emperor, the Pang Demon Emperor and over 1,000 Emperor-level experts were unable to pass through that distorted space. They could only vaguely see a single figure in the distorted space, the Saiyan Emperor. 3 Great Divine Tribulations? Qin Yu heard the muttering of immortal Emperor Song Shi beside him and couldn't help but be puzzled. Regarding the divine tribulations, Qin Yu knew nothing about them. Immediately, he asked in a low voice, "Brother Song Shi, you said something about 3 Great Divine Tribulations. What exactly is that?" The heaven and earth rumbled. The voices of Qin Yu and Song Shi could be completely ignored. Immortal Emperor Song Shi also said in a low voice, "Qin Yu, I've also heard from my master that this divine tribulation has a total of 3 Great Divine Tribulations. The first Great Divine Tribulation is formed by heavenly lightning. The dark blue-colored heavenly lightning is the strongest lightning that Emperor-level experts can control. As for the second Great Divine Tribulation, it is formed by an ancient formation array formed by the dark blue-colored heavenly lightning." Qin Yu was shocked. No wonder the legendary divine tribulations are so hard to pass that the majority of the level 9 immortal emperors would fail. With the first great divine tribulation being so powerful, the next two great divine tribulations would definitely be even more powerful. Immortal Emperor Song She said in a low voice. Qin Yu, look, the dark blue-colored lightning in the sky is unceasingly flowing through that ancient formation array. That ancient formation array is created by the heaven and earth. Its power is definitely very strong. The dark blue-colored lightning is the strongest lightning that Emperor-level experts can control. Adding on the amplification of the ancient formation array, its power. Immortal Emperor Song She sighed unceasingly. That's not all. This is only the first great divine tribulation. The second great divine tribulation is even more frightening. You ought to know that the experts that undergo the divine tribulation are usually well prepared. However, the second great divine tribulation is extremely difficult. Oh. Qin Yu was puzzled. What is this second great divine tribulation? Moreover, I heard from Master that when the God's tribulation begins, the area within a radius of 1 mile will be separated from the outside world. The area within a radius of 1 mile where Master is at will be filled with illusions, and inner demons will constantly infiltrate and harass him. It's always like this during the tribulation transcendence. If you're even slightly distracted, you might be shattered by the divine tribulation, causing your soul to dissipate. Immortal Emperor Song She was somewhat nervous. The first divine tribulation is about to descend. Qin Yu also looked up carefully. At first glance, the circular ancient formation formed by the dark blue lightning looked like a millstone. The dark blue millstone had completely emerged from the huge red vortex. At the same time, the dark blue millstone was slowly rotating. 9 dark blue bolts of lightning. Qin Yu could clearly see that there were 9 dark blue bolts of lightning constantly moving around the ancient array. Rumble. The giant millstone formed by deep blue lightning slowly rotated. At the same time, it slowly descended from the sky. The speed of the millstone's descent was very slow, but it made people feel as if the end of the world had arrived. Why is it so slow? Qin Yu was somewhat puzzled. Most of the tribulation lightning struck down very quickly. However, the giant millstone formed by the 9 dark blue bolts of lightning was descending at a relatively slow speed. From the huge red whirlpool to where Azure the Arch was standing, it was only 10,000 meters away. However, the millstone flew for a total of 10 breaths' time. In the distorted space, over 1,000 Emperor-level experts could faintly see Azure Theaka's right hand raised high into the sky. At the same time, he shouted like spring thunder, "Break!" The giant millstone that descended with a rumble was a stark contrast to Azure Theaka's tiny figure. His tiny palm collided with the giant lightning millstone. The result was, the giant millstone directly cracked. The ancient formation completely collapsed. The 9 dark blue bolts of lightning that formed the ancient formation were like roaming dragons that did not have any pattern. Whenever they hit Azure Theaka's body, they dissipated. Azure Theaka's strength is indeed impressive. Azure the Arch has been hiding his strength. He broke through the first great divine tribulation so easily. His strength far surpasses ours. Hidden Emperor, Emperor Yu and the others all started discussing. These people knew quite a lot about the divine tribulation. They also knew about the might of the first great divine tribulation. Seeing Azure the Arch break through it so easily, they also had some understanding of Azure Theaka's strength. Big brother, is this the first great divine tribulation? It seems ordinary. Ho Fei said indifferently beside Qin Yu. Immortal Emperor Song She glared and said, "That's because my master is strong. If it was an ordinary level 9 Immortal Emperor, then this great divine tribulation would have seriously injured him." Seeing Ho Fei like this, Qin Yu could only smile helplessly. This lightning has already reached the dark blue level. Only those who have trained the 9 transformations dark gold body to the 8th stage can withstand it. Those who have reached the 7th stage will be injured, said Yi Chu. Ao Wushu also had a serious expression. Seeing this, Ho Fei didn't say anything more. Qin Yu lightly smiled and said, "All right, the second great divine tribulation is already accumulating power. Watch carefully. There won't be such a good opportunity in the future." Not only Qin Yu and the others were also discussing the first great divine tribulation. After a short moment, the Ridge Peak star once again regained its tranquility. Everyone raised their heads and continued to watch. They wanted to see what the second great divine tribulation looked like. The black clouds rolled. The direction of the enormous red vortex began to change. The outer vortex was still rotating in the same direction. However, the inner vortex was rotating in the opposite direction. Immediately, sparks appeared at the boundary between the inner and outer vortexes. Traces of black flames emerged from the boundary between the inner and outer vortexes. The red vortex had a circumference of several thousand miles. Although there were only traces of black flames in every corner, when these black flames gathered together, they were not to be underestimated. Black flames? Blue heavenly flame is blue in color. Extremely silent heavenly flame is golden in color and blue in color. What are these black flames? Qin Yu asks in a low voice. Divine flame. Immortal Emperor Song Shi had a serious expression. The Immortal Emperor's Yuanying true flame is the extremely silent heavenly flame. It is said that this divine flame is the true flame within the body of a deity. It is extremely powerful. True flame of a deity, this. Who could withstand it? Qin Yu was surprised. Ho Fei said from the side. I know about this divine flame. It is not only deities that possess it. In the immortal, devil and demon realm, the super-divine beast, Phoenix, and Fire Qilin, that were born from the flames, once they reached the emperor level, the true flame within their bodies would become the divine flame. Divine flame, it is said that it can be used to refine divine artifacts. Generally, if one possesses a divine artifact and has sufficient energy, one would be able to withstand the divine flame. Immortal Emperor Song Shi explained. This divine flame only attacks once. As long as one is able to withstand it, it will automatically dissipate. If one were to use the divine flame to roast someone, after a long time, even ordinary divine artifacts would melt. No matter how powerful a cultivator is, they would not be able to withstand it. That's not necessarily the case, said Yi Chu from the side. When one cultivates the 9 steps dark gold body to the pinnacle, one's entire body's muscles and bones would be akin to high-quality divine artifacts. The divine flame would only be able to melt ordinary divine artifacts as well as some materials used to refine divine artifacts. However, high-quality divine artifacts were not something that could be melted with merely divine flame. The divine flame has descended. Kuro, who had been silent the entire time, suddenly spoke. Qin Yu and the others were also able to clearly see that the traces of black flames had finally finished gathering and formed into a several tens of meters long black dragon-shaped flame. That black dragon-shaped flame directly rushed downwards. Suddenly, everyone cried out in alarm. They saw that the Cyan Emperor had actually soared into the sky. He directly flew into the air to meet the dragon-shaped flame formed by the divine flame. Generally, one would undergo a heavenly tribulation on the ground. That was because one would receive a stronger attack in the air. For the Cyan Emperor to do this, he was either an idiot or he was extremely confident. Was the Cyan Emperor an idiot? No one would agree with that. Why isn't the Cyan Emperor using his divine artifact? Ho Fei asked doubtfully. When the Cyan Emperor flew into the air, everyone could clearly see his expression and what he was wearing. The Cyan Emperor was still wearing an ordinary green robe. At most, it was a supreme-grade immortal artifact. Would the Cyan Emperor not have a divine armor? Of course not. However, the Cyan Emperor did not use it. Roar. The black dragon-shaped flame actually let out a roar. Then, it opened its dragon mouth and swallowed the Cyan Emperor. That black flame completely enveloped the Cyan Emperor. The several tens of meters long black dragon-shaped flame continued to fly downwards. The black flame only took a breath's time to envelop the Cyan Emperor. Logically speaking, even a 9th-grade immortal sovereign would be burned to ashes if he did not have a divine artifact. After all, that was the divine flame. After a breath's time, the black flame actually disappeared into thin air. This heavenly tribulation was indeed formed by the universe. It was extremely miraculous. Qin Yu's eyes flashed. Qin Yu clearly saw that when the black divine flame flew away from the Cyan Emperor's body, the Cyan Emperor's body produced traces of dark green ripples. Under the protection of the dark green ripples, the Cyan Emperor was not harmed at all. It's the dark green ripples that protected the Cyan Emperor. What are those ripples? Qin Yu was very certain of his judgment. However, after the black divine flame dissipated, the Cyan Emperor was still wearing his green robe. There was a faint smile on his face. Confidence. Standing in the air and facing the heavenly tribulation indifferently. Just this bearing alone was not something that others could compare to. This Cyan Emperor, who was said to have stayed in the 8th grade immortal sovereign realm for a terrifying amount of time, had indeed concealed himself deeply. I'm not as good as the Cyan Emperor. A voice sounded. With Qin Yu's sensitive hearing, he could tell that it was Empress Ni. Haha. Empress Ni, don't mind it too much. The Cyan Emperor's current achievements were mainly due to his good luck back then. Luck. This is something that can't be helped. The Dragon Emperor said with a chuckle. Empress Ni's true form was a phoenix. As a level 9 Demon Emperor, Empress Ni was able to use her extremely silent heavenly flames to attack others. Under the extremely silent heavenly flames, even the hidden Emperor Lin Yin would not be able to survive. When facing Empress Ni, the hidden Emperor would also have to flee. As for Empress Ni's true trump card, it was to transform her entire body into divine flame to attack her enemies. As she was born from flames, she could also transform into flames. Merely, there was a limit to how much Empress Ni could transform into divine flame. However, seeing that the divine flame was unable to do anything to the Cyan Emperor in a short period of time, Empress Ni had no choice but to admit that she was inferior to the Cyan Emperor. Song Shi, what martial technique did Senior Cyan Emperor use earlier? What are those dark green ripples? Qin Yu asked Immortal Emperor Song Shi. Song Shi had a confused expression. I'm also not sure. Ever since several tens of millions of years ago when Master began to cultivate a certain special martial technique, I have never seen Master fight again. However, Master's strength is extremely powerful. There is no need to doubt about that. When he taught us martial brothers a lesson, he always subdued us with a single move. Qin Yu nodded his head in his heart. Among Song Shi's 5 martial brothers, the strongest was already a level 8 immortal emperor. However, they were still subdued by the Cyan Emperor with a single move. From this, one could imagine how unfathomable the Cyan Emperor's strength was. The final stage of the 3 great divine tribulations. Immortal Emperor Song Shi stared straight at the enormous dark red-colored vortex in the sky. Qin Yu, this 3rd stage of the divine tribulation is the strongest stage of the divine tribulation. Throughout history, many powerful emperor-level experts died under this stage of the divine tribulation. Qin Yu knew that the final stage was definitely the most powerful one. He also focused his attention on it. Perhaps, one day, he would also have to face this divine tribulation. The enormous dark red vortex began to emit bits of black mist. The black mist seeped out from the cracks of the vortex. Then, it began to gather at the center of the vortex. A mass of black fog with a radius of several hundred meters appeared. This mass of black fog slowly descended. Black mist? What the hell is this? Qin Yu watched carefully. It wasn't that Qin Yu didn't want to use his immortal awareness. However, for some unknown reason, Qin Yu's immortal awareness was unable to penetrate the distorted space. As the black mist descended, Qin Yu's sharp eyes finally saw through the mystery of the black mist. Lightning. Gray-colored lightning. Qin Yu's eyes shone. Within the several hundred-meter circumference lump of black mist, there were traces of gray lightning snakes moving about. Those gray lightning snakes were very thin. At first glance, one would think that they were mist. Qin Yu had to spend a great deal of effort to distinguish them. I've never seen gray lightning before. Seems like it's quite terrifying. Qin Yu carefully watched how the Cyan Emperor was going to deal with it. The several 100-meter thick black mist covered a large area. It took up more than half of the 1-mile circumference region. When it descended upon the Cyan Emperor, it immediately enveloped the Cyan Emperor. Chi-chi! An intense sound was heard. The over 1,000 Emperor-level experts that were closest to the black mist were all able to clearly hear the sound. If the space was good, one would be able to see the numerous gray lightning snakes striking the Cyan Emperor's body unceasingly. Divine tribulation, it's truly powerful. Haha. Clear and bright laughter suddenly sounded from the Cyan Emperor's mouth. The Cyan Emperor, who had been quietly allowing the gray lightning snakes to attack him the entire time, suddenly extended his arms. A jade-green-colored water screen, with the Cyan Emperor as the center, started to spread in all directions. Everything that the jade-green water screen passed through turned into nothingness. This included the black mist and the gray lightning. Soon after, the jade-green water screen started to gather toward the Cyan Emperor's body at an even faster speed. Soon after, it disappeared. The Cyan Emperor was still standing in the air with a smile on his face. It was as if he had never done anything. However, the black mist and the gray lightning snakes had already disappeared. So powerful. The Pung Demon Emperor, Dragon Emperor, Great Ape Emperor and the other super experts all had shocked expressions on their faces. Even the Dragon Emperor and them who had a good relationship with the Cyan Emperor had never seen the true strength of the Cyan Emperor. However, the jade-green water screen that he had displayed earlier, its might definitely surpassed the divine flame. The jade-green ripple that resisted the divine flame earlier, it should be the same kind of energy as this jade-green water screen. Qin Yu's eyes were still looking at the Cyan Emperor, who was smiling indifferently in the distance. Qin Yu's curiosity was piqued. He immediately asked, "Song Shi, tell me. Admire? Admire what?" Ho Fei and Kuro also looked over. Immortal Emperor Song Shi said with a smile. Back then, Master admired Immortal Emperor Ni Yang because of his ability to communicate. He was actually able to become close friends with the Black Flame Lord and the White Profound Lord of the Dark Star Realm. In the Dark Star Realm, if outsiders were to enter, they would generally encounter difficulties and even be attacked. As for the three great sovereigns of the Dark Star Realm, their tempers are even more eccentric. My master only possessed a decent relationship with the Gold Punishment Lord from back then. As for the Black Flame Lord and the White Profound Lord, he did not possess any relationship with them at all. That is because those two people are extremely difficult to befriend. For Ni Yang to be able to possess such a good relationship with those two people, tell me, isn't he amazing? He is amazing. Qin Yu recalled his Blazing Profound Ring. The Blazing Profound Ring was formed by the fusion of the Black Flame Lord's ring and the White Profound Lord's ring. From this, one could tell how close the relationship between the Black Flame Lord and the White Profound Lord was with Immortal Emperor Ni Yang. This is only the first point. What about the second point? Ho Fei asked. Song Shi smiled and said, "Back then, Master only admired his ability to communicate. However now, Master is admiring Immortal Emperor Ni Yang's accomplishments in defensive barriers. A single Qingyu Immortal Mansion possessed such a powerful defensive power that even Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor were unable to break through it. This is indeed amazing. This point, in the entire Immortal, Devil and Demon realm, I reckon that no one can compare to it." Qin Yu, Ho Fei and Kuro were startled. They were speechless. Who would have thought that the rumor of the Zhonglan's realm being the Qingyu Immortal Mansion would instead make the already dead Immortal Emperor Ni Yang even more famous? What's wrong? You didn't think of it? Could it be that Immortal Emperor Ni Yang's accomplishments in defensive barriers are not worthy of admiration? Immortal Emperor Song Shi asked. Worthy. Qin Yu and his brothers all said. Ho Fei also sighed and said, Song Shi, what you said is right. If it wasn't for Immortal Emperor Ni Yang who made the Qingyu Immortal Mansion so good, then my big brother would have been finished off by Emperor Yu on the Reef Yellow Star. We should be thanking Immortal Emperor Ni Yang. Big brother, don't you think so? Yes, yes. Qin Yu bitterly smiled in his heart. Immediately after, Qin Yu swept his gaze over the surroundings. Most of the over 1,000 Emperor-level experts in the first district had used greater teleportation to leave. After all, the Jade Wave Star and the Ridge Peak Star were in the same galaxy. The distance between them was not very far. They would be able to reach the Ridge Peak Star in 2 or 3 greater teleportations. If they were to line up and rely on the interstellar conveying arrays, who knows how long it would take for them to reach the Ridge Peak Star with over 100 million people. When they arrived, no one knew the location of the Ridge Peak Star. Thus, they all had to rely on the interstellar conveying arrays. Now that they had left, there was no need to do so anymore. Everyone has already left, let's go too. Qin Yu said with a smile. Brother Qin Yu, don't be in such a hurry to go back. You 3 brothers should go to the Jade Wave Star to celebrate. This time, my master has prepared a grand banquet. There are banquets all over the Jade Wave Star. Those golden immortals and heavenly immortals can participate in the banquet in the ordinary cities. As for Emperor-level experts, they can go to the Crescent Moon Bay to participate in the banquet. Immortal Emperor Song Shi invited Qin Yu and his brothers. Qin Yu looked to Hou Fei and Kuro. That Crescent Moon Bay would definitely have a large number of Emperor-level experts gathered there. Such a large group of Emperor-level experts gathering there was extremely rare. Seeing Hou Fei and Kuro's expression, Qin Yu understood that his 2 brothers also wanted to go and take a look. Okay then, let's go. Qin Yu said with a smile. When Qin Yu and his brothers were chatting with Song Shi, the Saiyan Emperor himself flew to the side of the Dragon Emperor, Great Ape Emperor, Ox Demon Emperor, Emperor Ni, Ao Wuming and the others. Brother Qi Qing, it's fine if you don't display your might, but once you do, it's truly astonishing, said the Dragon Emperor with a smile. Ao Wuming, who stood to the side, also said, Senior Saiyan Emperor's divine tribulation is so effortless, truly astonishing. The Great Ape Emperor, Ox Demon Emperor and the others all gasped in admiration. The Saiyan Emperor said with a chuckle, Everyone, don't say it like that. I'm afraid that everyone knows the reason why I'm able to have my current accomplishments. It's luck, it's merely luck. What are you talking about? Luck is one aspect, there's also your insight. If it wasn't for your insight in the bewitching God Temple, how could you possibly have your current accomplishments? Said the Dragon Emperor. Speaking till here, Ao Wuming, who had been puzzled the entire time, finally understood. So the Saiyan Emperor's current accomplishments were actually related to the bewitching God Temple. Well then, everyone, follow me to the Jade Wave Star's Crescent Moon Bay to properly celebrate. Now that I've passed the divine tribulation, I will not be staying in the immortal, devil and demon realm for a long time. In a period of time, I'll ascend to the divine realm. The next time we meet, I'm afraid it'll be in the divine realm, said the Saiyan Emperor with a sigh. Once those words were said, the surrounding group of people all thought of many things. What sort of scene would it be to meet again in the divine realm? Haha, let's go. Qi Qing, I've known you for so long, there's not much time left for us to be together in the immortal, devil and demon realm. Today, I'll properly eat and drink with you, said the Dragon Emperor while laughing. Immediately after, this group of people used greater teleportation and proceeded to the Jade Wave Star. While the Saiyan Emperor was inviting the Dragon Emperor, Great Ape Emperor and them, Emperor Yu, Mystic Emperor, Peng Demon Emperor, Ao Ku, Lu Tu and them were gathered together. From time to time, they would look at Qin Yu in the distance. They had also set up barriers in their surroundings to prevent their voices from leaking out. Brother Qin Yu, if you continue to hesitate, then I reckon that you'll no longer have the opportunity to kill Qin Yu, advised Emperor Yu. Mystic Emperor Xian, she also said. Brother Zhong Yan ought to understand that the current Qin Yu and his brothers are already very powerful. If you want to kill them, you'll need to spend a lot of effort. If you don't kill them this time, firstly, with their ability to conceal themselves, it'll be hard for you to find the 3 brothers next time. Secondly, with their cultivation speed, Even if you were to encounter the three brothers next time, it'll likely be hard for you to kill them. That Qin Yu's body refinement technique is comparable to a divine artifact. Brother Zhong Yan ought to know about it," said Emperor Yu. At this moment, Ao Ku and Lu Tu were silent. Peng Demon Emperor Zhong Yan's brows were slightly creased. He then took a glance at Qin Yu, who was chatting with Immortal Emperor Song Shi. How could he not want to kill Qin Yu? It's just that the Cyan Emperor had clearly said that they were not allowed to attack each other. If they were to attack each other, it would mean that they wouldn't give the Cyan Emperor any face. The strength of the Cyan Emperor had already been demonstrated during the Divine Tribulation earlier. Not only the Cyan Emperor, the person that Peng Demon Emperor Zhong Yan feared the most was actually Granny Yin Hua. He still remembered the time when Granny Yin Hua had blocked his attack. Evidently, Granny Yin Hua's speed was even faster than his. Attack or not attack? Peng Demon Emperor frowned. He was hesitating in his heart. Qin Yu has left. Ao Ku suddenly spoke. Peng Demon Emperor, Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor looked over. Sure enough, Qin Yu, his brothers and Immortal Emperor Song Shi had already used greater teleportation to leave the Ridge Peak Star. Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor were a bit anxious. Even with their current strength, they were still unable to kill Qin Yu. If they wanted to kill Qin Yu, they could only rely on the Peng Demon Emperor. Brother Feng Yu, are you certain that Granny Yin Hua is not on the Jade Wave Star? Peng Demon Emperor suddenly asked. I'm certain. Granny Yin Hua had already left before her divine tribulation. At this moment, she's most likely not on the Jade Wave Star, said Emperor Yu. A cold light flashed through Peng Demon Emperor's eyes. Good, how about this? We'll immediately arrive at the Jade Wave Star. After that, we'll directly search for the location of Qin Yu and his brothers. I'll take care of Qin Yu. Ao Ku and Lu Tu will pin down Ho Fei. The two of you will kill Kuro. What do you think? A trace of joy appeared in Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor's eyes. Good. After the three of them reached an agreement, they immediately used greater teleportation and left the Ridge Peak Star. In the skies above the ocean of the Jade Wave Star, Qin Yu, his brothers and Immortal Emperor Song Shi were chatting and laughing side by side as they flew toward the Crescent Moon Bay. Suddenly, an immortal awareness covered Qin Yu and his brothers from afar. Emperor Yu's immortal awareness. Qin Yu frowned. Xiao Hei, Fei, be careful. That Emperor Yu might be about to attack. Brother Qin Yu, don't worry. How could that Emperor Yu dare to disturb the celebration of my master's successful divine tribulation? Immortal Emperor Song Shi did not believe that Emperor Yu would dare to attack. However, Qin Yu instantly covered the entire Jade Wave Star with his immortal awareness. He clearly discovered that the Peng Demon Emperor and them were at a location several million miles away from Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor. Suddenly, not good. Qin Yu discovered that the Peng Demon Emperor had suddenly disappeared. It was clear that he had used greater teleportation. In merely a short moment, the Peng Demon Emperor appeared at a location a mile away. At the same time, he was rushing over with a frightening speed. A mile? With the Peng Demon Emperor's speed, he would arrive in an instant. Don't resist. Qin Yu's first reaction was to directly take his two brothers Ho Fei and Kuro into the Zhonglan's realm. As for Immortal Emperor Song Shi, Qin Yu did not believe that the Peng Demon Emperor would attack him. At the moment when Qin Yu had just taken his two brothers into the Zhonglan's realm, the Peng Demon Emperor had arrived. Emperor Yu, Mystic Emperor, Level 8 Demon Emperor Ao Ku and Lu Tu had also used greater teleportation to a location a mile away. Where's Kuro? At the moment when the Peng Demon Emperor was about to kill Qin Yu, he was shocked to discover that Kuro had disappeared. His true goal was to have Emperor Yu and them kill Kuro. Now that Kuro had disappeared, the Peng Demon Emperor was unable to refrain himself from being shocked. This also caused the Peng Demon Emperor's attack to be a bit slower. Peng Demon Emperor, today is the day of celebration for Senior Cyan Emperor's divine tribulation. You dare to cause trouble? Qin Yu rapidly flew back. At the same time, he said via voice transmission. Qingyu Immortal Mansion, Humph, after I kill you, Qingyu, the Qingyu Immortal Mansion would naturally appear. At that time, even that little bastard Kuro would not be able to escape, said the Pang Demon Emperor via voice transmission. At the same time, his speed reached his limit and he once again charged toward Qingyu. Pang Demon Emperor. Immortal Emperor Song Shi, who stood to the side, was instead enraged. He had never expected that there would actually be someone who did not give his master face. And at this moment, Emperor Yu, Mystic Emperor, Ao Ku and Lu Tu had also arrived. Stop! A voice that contained anger resounded through the heaven and earth. At the same time, a cyan light pierced into the space between Qin Yu and the Pang Demon Emperor from the side. The Pang Demon Emperor's golden light collided with this cyan light. The Pang Demon Emperor was unable to help himself from being pushed back. That cyan light turned into a person. It was the Cyan Emperor. Emperor Yu, Mystic Emperor, Ao Ku and Lu Tu flew to the side of the Pang Demon Emperor. The five of them looked at the Cyan Emperor. Zhong Yan, Feng Yu, Xian Shi, today is the day when I undergo my divine tribulation. Furthermore, I have invited experts from all over the immortal, devil and demon realm to participate in the banquet. You all did not care about what I said in the slightest and instead attacked others. Cyan Emperor had an angry expression on his face. Qin Yu, who stood to the side, rubbed his fists. The reason why he did not enter the Zhonglan's realm earlier was because he wanted to try fighting against the Pang Demon Emperor. It would appear that only after reaching level 8 Demon Emperor would one be able to fight against the Pang Demon Emperor for several tens of bouts. Qin Yu sighed in his heart. He then took a glance at the Cyan Emperor. Cyan Emperor seems to be very angry. The Cyan Emperor was indeed very angry. The reason why he had invited all the experts from the immortal, devil and demon realm to attend the ceremony was all for the sake of face. And now, in the entire Jade Wave Star, holding a grand banquet to celebrate was also for the sake of face and reputation. As someone who was about to ascend to the divine realm, what else could he possibly care about? After enduring for several tens of millions of years, today, he finally managed to show off his might. Qi Qing, I want to kill Qin Yu, what can you do about it? Pang Demon Emperor said proudly. In terms of speed, he was only afraid of that Granny Yin Hua. What can I do about it? Haha. I've said it before, as long as you attack, I will definitely personally punish you. You all, I will not kill you. Instead, I will punish you. The Cyan Emperor's voice turned cold. Qin Yu and them only felt that the space around them had started to tremble. 9 Cyan Emperors instantly appeared in the surroundings of the Pang Demon Emperor, Emperor Yu and them. These 9 Cyan Emperors had completely surrounded the Pang Demon Emperor and them. The expression of the Pang Demon Emperor and them changed. That was because the strength of these 9 Cyan Emperors was actually the same as their true bodies. With the 9 Cyan Emperors as the center, the water screen had completely bound the Pang Demon Emperor and them. The Pang Demon Emperor and them were shocked to discover that they were unable to move. Of the 9 Cyan Emperors, 5 of them had respectively arrived in front of the Pang Demon Emperor, Emperor Yu, Mystic Emperor, Ao Ku and Lu Tuesday, bang. Those 5 Cyan Emperors all extended their right fists and ruthlessly smashed onto the faces of the 5 Cyan Emperors. These 5 Cyan Emperors were unable to dodge at all and could only look on helplessly as the fists were smashing toward them. Chapter 427. Bang! 5 fists landed solidly on 5 faces. The sound of nose bones breaking sounded at almost the same time. Blood splattered everywhere. Pang Demon Emperor, Emperor Yu, Mystic Emperor, Ao Ku and Lu Tu's faces all had blood splattered everywhere. The 9 Cyan Emperors suddenly fused together and turned into a single Cyan Emperor. The Cyan Emperor lightly smiled as he looked to the Pang Demon Emperor and them. Zhong Yan, Feng Yu, Xian Shi, you all have caused trouble here. This fist strike can be considered as your punishment. I hope that you all know when to advance and when to retreat. Otherwise, I do not mind if the fist from earlier is a bit stronger. That jade green-colored water screen was completely absorbed into the Cyan Emperor's body. The bindings on the Pang Demon Emperor and them were removed. However, no one doubted that the Cyan Emperor would be able to bind them again. Qin Yu, Immortal Emperor Song Shi, the Dragon Emperor, Ao Wushu, the Great Ape Emperor and a large group of people who had just arrived were all looking at the humiliated Pang Demon Emperor and them. The injuries on the Pang Demon Emperor and them's faces were instantly healed. However, the scene from earlier was something that they would never forget for the rest of their lives. Huff! The Pang Demon Emperor's chest was like a bellows as he took a deep breath. His complexion instantly turned dark purple. His gaze appeared as if he wanted to eat someone. His anger was so strong that everyone present was able to sense it. Humiliation, a humiliation that he had never experienced before. The Pang Demon Emperor had indeed reached his pinnacle. Cyan Emperor, you're indeed powerful. The Pang Demon Emperor slowly exhaled. His dark purple complexion had also turned pale. Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor's expressions were also extremely ugly. Merely, they did not attack. That was because they had already sensed the disparity between them and the Cyan Emperor. If they were to attack, they would only be seeking their own humiliation. As for Ao Ku and Lu Tu, they stood behind the Pang Demon Emperor and did not say a single word. Qin Yu. Emperor Yu looked at Qin Yu. If you have the ability, then stay beside the Cyan Emperor for your entire life. Immediately after, Emperor Yu said coldly, Brother Qi Qing's bitter training for all these years is truly exceptional. In front of you, I do not even have the ability to move. Feng Yu admits that I am inferior. Brother Qi Qing's generous fist strike, I also do not have the face to participate in your banquet. Farewell. Before he finished, the Pang Demon Emperor interrupted. The Pang Demon Emperor looked to the Cyan Emperor. Cyan Emperor, after training for all these years, your power has actually reached such a level. I've now discovered that there's a matter that I've thought of wrongly, extremely wrongly. The Pang Demon Emperor's eyes were filled with wickedness. He took a glance at Qin Yu beside him. Qin Yu narrowed his eyes. Zhong Yan, what are you trying to say? The Azure Emperor asked calmly. The Pang Demon Emperor Zhong Yan looked to the Dragon Emperor and the Great Ape Emperor. Ao Feng, Sun Yuan, we, the three emperors of the Demon Clan, had originally thought that we would be able to look down upon the entire immortal, devil and demon realm by relying on our inherited treasures. I have always disdained that bewitching god temple. Merely, I never would have thought that the treasure that Qi Qing obtained from the bewitching god temple was able to increase his strength to such a level. It seems that we were wrong to look down on the bewitching god temple's divine artifacts all these years. Qin Yu, Immortal Emperor Song Shi, and more emperor-level experts in the surroundings exclaimed in surprise. So the reason why the Cyan Emperor was so powerful was because of the divine artifacts of the bewitching god temple. What? The Azure Emperor has been to the bewitching god temple? Said Emperor Yu in shock. The Mystic Emperor also had an expression of disbelief. In the memories of Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor, the Azure Emperor had never been to the bewitching god temple. He had also never fought for the bewitching god painting. That's right, I've been there before. Merely, that was several tens of millions of years ago. At that time, I had gone there together with 3 other Immortal Emperor-level experts. At that time, Feng Yu, Xian Shi, you two were merely nobodies in the immortal realm. Said the Azure Emperor indifferently. Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor glanced at each other. They were both a bit ashamed and angry. They felt that, in front of the Azure Emperor, they were like infants in front of an adult. Several tens of millions of years ago, the disparity between them was enormous. Even now, the disparity was still enormous. Even though they were both level 9 immortal emperors. For the Azure Emperor to have such accomplishments, it was all because of the bewitching god temple. As for the most important treasure to explore the bewitching god temple, the bewitching god painting, it is currently in Qin Yu's possession. Qin Yu, I hope that you'll properly hide the bewitching god painting on you. I reckon that there will be a lot of people who will fight over your bewitching god painting. said the Pang Demon Emperor with a kind heart. Qin Yu's complexion grew cold. That treacherous bastard. Qin Yu's gaze swept through his surroundings. At this moment, there were over 100 Emperor-level experts gathered in his surroundings. The majority of them were looking at Qin Yu with a slightly moved gaze. Now that the Pang Demon Emperor said it like that, I reckon that there will be even more people who want the Bewitching God painting. And right at this moment, Pang Demon Emperor, is the Bewitching God painting really in Qin Yu's possession? A black-clothed old man among the crowd suddenly spoke. This black-clothed old man's appearance was indistinct. His body was naturally emitting a kind of chilliness. The other Emperor-level experts involuntarily maintained their distance from him. This old man was a hidden expert of the Devil Realm. His strength had reached level 9 Devil Emperor. No one could be certain of his true strength. After all, with Granny Yin Hua as an example, the strength of these hidden experts was the most difficult to determine. The Pang Demon Emperor turned his head around to look. When he saw this black-clothed old man, his eyes immediately shined. He said, "Of course. If Qin Yu did not possess the Bewitching God painting, then why would Emperor Yu waste so much effort to chase after Qin Yu? Brother Feng Yu, don't you think so?" Emperor Yu and the Pang Demon Emperor glanced at each other. They then smiled and said, "That's right. Now, I shall not conceal this secret anymore. The Bewitching God painting is indeed in Qin Yu's possession. Not only is it the Bewitching God painting, even the 10,000 Beasts Atlas is in Qin Yu's possession." Attention! Over 100 Emperor-level experts simultaneously looked toward Qin Yu. Their gazes contained a faint blazing passion. The Cyan Emperor had already displayed his strength. Even the Pang Demon Emperor had surrendered before him. The source of the Cyan Emperor's strength was the Bewitching God Temple. Not to mention those immortal emperors, even the Dragon Emperor, Ao Wushu, the Ox Demon Emperor and them all had a trace of greed in their hearts. Fortunately, the Dragon Emperor and them all had their own trump cards and did not have a great desire for the Bewitching God Temple. Pang Demon Emperor, Emperor Yu, they are truly treacherous. Qin Yu felt that the situation was a bit bad. However, there was nothing he could do right now. More and more Emperor-level experts gathered in the surroundings. Many of them were looking at Qin Yu with gazes filled with greed and killing intent. This caused Qin Yu to become even more furious. Qin Yu's ice-cold gaze ruthlessly swept toward those people. He thought in his heart, "You bunch of greedy bastards, it's best that you do not provoke me. If you were to provoke me, I'll directly bitterly train in the Zhonglan's realm for several thousand years and directly reach the 9th stage of the 9 steps dark gold body. At that time, those who are my enemies, I'll kill them all without exception." Qin Yu's eyes that were filled with killing intent had startled those Emperor-level experts. They remembered that this Qin Yu was on par with Emperor Yu. Level 2, 3, 5 and 6 immortal emperors and demon emperors. Wanting to seize Qin Yu's Bewitching God painting was simply throwing away one's life. Those relatively weaker Emperor-level experts couldn't help but hide the greed in their hearts. However, they were also prepared. Once Qin Yu was like a tiger in a plain, they would also try to seize the Bewitching God painting. Humph. Qin Yu coldly humphed. In this immortal, devil and demon realm, sometimes, one must be a bit more powerful. If they don't provoke him, then it's fine. However, if someone wanted to kill him and seize his treasures, then he must not be too lenient. Everyone. Cyan Emperor lightly smiled and said, "My current accomplishments are indeed related to that Bewitching God Temple." Once the Cyan Emperor said those words, the surrounding people all looked toward the Cyan Emperor. However, Qin Yu frowned. "It's just that the treasure that I obtained was actually not a divine artifact. It even caused me to stop at level 8 Immortal Emperor and bitterly train for several tens of millions of years before I managed to succeed. If it wasn't for that treasure, then I would have already reached the divine realm." "You win some, you lose some," said the Cyan Emperor in a clear voice. "Well then everyone, the banquet has been prepared. Everyone, follow me to the Crescent Moon Bay first." "Good, everyone, let's go to the banquet," said Immortal Emperor Song Shi while smiling. "We won't be going. Farewell," said Emperor Yu suddenly. Mystic Emperor also stood beside Emperor Yu. The Cyan Emperor merely smiled and nodded. "Qi Qing, I shall also take my leave." Peng Demon Emperor also cupped his hand. Soon after, Peng Demon Emperor, Emperor Yu and them all flew away rapidly. Crescent Moon Bay. In a spacious courtyard were over 100 tables. Among them, Qin Yu and his 2 brothers were sitting around a table in the corner. Qin Yu, Hou Fei and Kuro were sitting at a table. There were only the 3 of them on this table. Their surroundings were also covered with barriers set up by Qin Yu. Thus, their voices did not spread out. Although Hou Fei and Kuro were taken into the Jianglan's realm by Qin Yu, they already knew about what had happened earlier. This is the situation. I reckon that our future days will be even more difficult. You all, tell me, how should we handle this? Qin Yu told them about what had happened earlier in detail. He also told them about the situation that the 3 brothers were in. Truly fucking troublesome. Whoever wants to snatch the bewitching god painting, we should just kill them directly. If we can't beat them, we can just hide. What are we 3 brothers afraid of? Hou Fei's face was filled with anger. Kuro's face was also gloomy. Big brother, there's no need to be lenient with those who want to kill us. Qin Yu nodded. Qin Yu understood. Ever since the Pang Demon Emperor told them about what had happened, with so many Emperor-level experts knowing about it, it was likely that over half of the Emperor-level experts in the entire Immortal, Devil and Demon realm would know about this matter. It was very possible for them to be surrounded and killed. Ha ha. Qin Yu suddenly laughed. He raised his cup and drank it. Xiao Hei, Fei, there's no need for you to care too much about these things. Let's properly train and enjoy our lives. It's fine if those people follow the rules. However, if they want to kill us and snatch the bewitching god painting, we cannot just let them kill us. Qin Yu's meaning was very clear. Well then, let's leave first. Qin Yu suddenly stood up. Once the 3 brothers stood up, the other Emperor-level experts that were chatting and laughing all looked toward Qin Yu and his brothers. Qin Yu indifferently swept his gaze over them. The 3 brothers then directly walked toward the table at the very front. At that table was the Cyan Emperor, Dragon Emperor, Emperor Ni, Great Ape Emperor and the rest of the group. Senior Cyan Emperor, everyone, us 3 brothers still have things to do, so we'll be leaving first. Qin Yu cupped his hands and said. The Cyan Emperor took a glance at Qin Yu and his brothers. He then smiled and nodded. In that case, I won't be seeing you off. Qin Yu, I will still be staying in the Crescent Moon Bay for half a year. If you want to come, you can come find me during this period of time. As for after half a year, if you want to see me, I reckon that we'll have to meet again in the Divine Realm. Soon after, Qin Yu and his brothers left the Crescent Moon Bay under the attentive gaze of a group of Emperor-level experts. On a desolate planet, a single figure suddenly appeared. It was precisely Qin Yu. Qin Yu was currently using greater teleportation by himself and rushing toward the green flame star field's flowing mist star with his fastest speed. If the 3 brothers were to travel together, then they would be a large target and it would be very easy for their identities to be exposed. Thus, it was safer for Qin Yu to travel alone. In about half a month, Qin Yu had arrived at the green flame star field's flowing mist star from the Crescent Moon Bay. Inside the 5 Willows Palace on the flowing mist star, Qin Yu, Hou Fei, Kuro, Bai Ling and the rest of the group were gathered together. Fei Xiao Hei. Qin Yu instructed. This flowing mist star can still be considered safe. With Little Tong, Guofan and them here, you all can be at ease. I plan to enter the Jianglan's realm and start training the 9 Steps Dark Gold Body. What do you all plan to do? Qin Yu felt that his strength was still not enough. If his strength was truly strong enough, then who would dare to provoke him? He reckoned that they would instead be afraid that he would provoke them. Big brother, you're about to start training, how could we dare to be lazy? Hou Fei said while laughing. Kuro also nodded and looked to Qin Yu. Qin Yu was unable to refrain himself from smiling. Ling, I'm sorry. Kuro looked to Bai Ling beside him. Bai Ling merely smiled and lightly shook her head. Bai Ling knew that with her cultivation speed, it was simply impossible for her to catch up to Kuro. It was likely that when Kuro ascended to the divine realm, she, Bai Ling, would also not be able to ascend to the divine realm together with him. Thus, Bai Ling decided to be together with her daughter, Hei Tong. Qin Yu and his brothers once again entered the Jianglan's realm and began to quietly train. As for Bai Ling, Hei Tong and them, they continued to live peacefully on the flowing mist star. As for when Qin Yu and his brothers would come out from their closed-door training next time, at the very least, Qin Yu and his brothers were still uncertain. The core planet of the bird clan, Black Crow Star. Imperial City. Scram. With a wave of his sleeve, the two maids were sent flying. Their blood splattered onto the steps outside of his bedchamber. Wearing a golden crown, golden boots and golden clothes, the Pang Demon Emperor was still standing in his bedchamber. Without my order, you all do not have to enter this place again. Yes, Your Majesty, said the two maids while trembling with fear. They then hurriedly left this place. At this moment, 4 figures appeared far away from the bedchamber. They were currently looking toward the bedchamber from afar. They were Ao Ku, Lu Tu, Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor. Ao Ku, Lu Tu, what's going on with Brother Zhong Yen? Asked Emperor Yu. Ao Ku and Lu Tu both smiled helplessly. Soon after, Ao Ku explained. His Majesty has never received such a great humiliation in all these years. To be humiliated like this by the Saiyan Emperor, His Majesty's stomach has been filled with anger the entire time. Brother Fengyu, if you all want to come in, then come in. Do not stand outside. Suddenly, the Pang Demon Emperor turned around. His ice-cold eyes looked toward them. Emperor Yu and them glanced at each other. They then began to walk toward the Pang Demon Emperor's bedchamber. Chapter 428. The bedchamber was cold and cheerless. There wasn't a single maid. It caused one to feel gloomy and cold. The only person in the bedchamber, the Pang Demon Emperor, was standing there quietly with his hands behind his back. Emperor Yu, Mystic Emperor, Ao Ku and Lu Tu walked into the bedchamber with confusion in their hearts. They did not know why the Pang Demon Emperor wanted them to come in. Brother Fengyu, you all also felt the pressure that Qin Yu and his brothers brought to you all, right? The Pang Demon Emperor's back was facing Emperor Yu and them. He suddenly opened his mouth and asked. Emperor Yu slightly paused. He then continued to answer. What Brother Zhong Yen said is correct. The speed at which Qin Yu and his brothers increase their strength is truly too frightening. Every day that they live, I would be worried. With their cultivation speed, even if I were to luckily pass the divine tribulation and ascend to the divine realm. When I reach the divine realm, I'm afraid that I would be far inferior to them. Emperor Yu's wife Xian, she also felt a bit helpless in her heart. Following her husband and becoming enemies with Qin Yu and his brothers, she now also felt an enormous pressure. It was so much so that the two of them did not have the certainty to kill Qin Yu. You're right. The Pang Demon Emperor suddenly turned around. With a sharp gaze, he looked at Emperor Yu. Brother Fengyu, if you have such a feeling, how could I not? That Qin Yu's third brother Kuro is actually a variation super divine beast. According to my investigation, this Kuro's speed is not inferior to the golden-winged Great Pang. In terms of attack techniques, he is comparable to the Ape Clan. In terms of defense, there is no one in the Bird Clan that can compare to him. It could be said that a variation divine beast like Kuro could be said to possess no weaknesses. That powerful? Emperor Yu was shocked upon hearing that. You wanted to kill Qin Yu and thus did not care much about Kuro. Thus, you naturally do not know about him. The Pang Demon Emperor narrowed his eyes. A cold light was emitted from his eyes. In merely several hundred years, this Kuro had reached level 6 Demon Emperor. If he were to continue to develop, then I reckon that in 10,000 years, he would be able to reach level 9 Demon Emperor. At that time, with merely his defense, I would not be able to break through it. The Pang Demon Emperor felt helpless in his heart. The inherited treasure of the Rock clan was extremely powerful. It could increase one's speed to a terrifying level. However, in terms of attack power, even though his attack power was close to that of a high-grade god artifact, when compared to his speed, his attack power was a weakness. Brother Fengyu, are you able to remain calm and allow them to continue to train and increase their strength? Pang Demon Emperor Zhong Yan looked to Emperor Yu. Emperor Yu shook his head and said angrily, I have always wanted to kill this Qin Yu. However, we don't even know where they live. How are we supposed to kill them? There's no other way. No. The Pang Demon Emperor sneered and shook his head. Although we are unable to find Kuro and his two brothers for the time being, we are able to increase the number of people searching for them. This is a method. At the same time, we are also able to restrict the increase in their attack power. Limit. The mystic the Arch, who was at the side, asked curiously, if their strength increases, how do we limit them? The Pang Demon Emperor lightly smiled and said, the fastest way to increase one's attack power is not to increase one's own power. Instead, it's to obtain a powerful weapon. If that Qin Yu obtains a divine weapon comparable to the inherited treasure of my Rock clan, at that time, even I might not be able to kill him. Emperor Yu's and the Mystic Emperor's expressions immediately changed. Yes. The strongest way to increase one's strength would be to obtain divine armors and so on. You all have also seen the strength of the Cyan Emperor. Back then, he obtained a treasure from the bewitching god temple. Its name seemed to be the 9-Water Elemental Pearl. It was precisely that treasure that allowed him to reach his current strength, to the point where he's even stronger than me. As for Qin Yu, he possesses the bewitching god painting. Currently, Qin Yu's strength is even stronger than the Cyan Emperor who explored the bewitching god temple. Adding on the bewitching god painting, who knows whether or not he would obtain a treasure comparable to the 9-Elemental Water Pearl. The Pang Demon Emperor sneered. If he were to truly obtain it, then we should prepare to surrender ourselves and be killed by him. Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor glanced at each other. They both felt that what the Pang Demon Emperor said was reasonable. Then Qin Yu, could it be that he's already proceeded to the bewitching god temple? Mystic Emperor Xian's expression suddenly changed. Mystic Emperor, please rest assured. His Majesty had already anticipated this. Thus, he had already dispatched a total of 72 demon emperors of the Bird clan to the bewitching god temple. They had set up the 8-9 space sealing array at the entrance of the bewitching god temple. Regardless of how powerful that Qin Yu might be, he would still not be able to enter. Said Aoku confidently. 72 demon emperors? Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor sucked in a mouthful of cold air. To dispatch this many emperor-level experts at once, it was likely that only the 3 big shots of the demon realm would be able to do such a thing. For example, the emperor-level experts under the Cyan Emperor, Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor were only equivalent to a third or even a fourth of the emperor-level experts under the Pang Demon Emperor. Soon after, Emperor Yu heaved a long sigh of relief. He smiled and said, Brother Zhong Yan is truly far-sighted. With the 8-9 space sealing array set up and the passage to the bewitching god temple being only a bit large, the defense of the bewitching god temple would be more effective. The smaller the space, the stronger the defense. Even I would not be able to break through it. Humph, of the 2 great entrances of the bewitching god temple, the entrance in my demon realm region is only able to allow 5 or 6 people to enter side by side. Such a small entrance was actually set up by 72 demon emperors. Its defense is extremely strong. Not to mention you, even if there were 3 of you, Emperor Yu, you would likely still not be able to break through it. Said the Pang Demon Emperor confidently. Emperor Yu smiled and did not say anything more. Mystic Emperor she smiled and said, Brother Zhong Yan's move is truly powerful. There are only a total of 2 entrances to the bewitching god temple. One entrance is located in the demon realm region and the other entrance is located in the dark star realm. It is impossible for the people from the immortal realm, devil realm and demon realm to be allowed to enter the Dark Star Realm's entrance. The entrance to the demon realm has also been sealed. Even if Qin Yu possessed the bewitching god painting, he would still not be able to enter. Of the two great entrances, the entrance in the Dark Star Realm region was indeed not accessible to those who were not from the Dark Star Realm. Even the immortal Emperor Ni Yang, who possessed such a good relationship with the Black Flame Lord and the White Profound Lord, was unable to enter through the Dark Star Realm's entrance. If he was able to enter through that entrance, then how would he have been threatened by Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor together? Merely, the matter of me setting up this formation array is a bit troublesome, said the Pang Demon Emperor with a frown. That's right, it's troublesome. Emperor Yu also realized. This bewitching god temple is something that all of the immortal, devil and demon realms possess. Brother Zhong Yan, you've done this without authorization and sealed this entrance. The Emperor-level experts from the immortal, devil realm and even the Emperor-level experts from the Beast Clan and the Dragon Clan would likely all be enraged and angry. This was a matter of course. For a large treasure deposit, if you, Pang Demon Emperor, were to send people to seal the entrance to the treasure deposit and not allow others to enter, how could the other powers possibly endure it? Thus, I've prepared to invite the leaders of the immortal, devil and demon realms to come to my Black Crow Star for a discussion, said the Pang Demon Emperor with a light smile. Oh! Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor were slightly startled. Of the two great entrances to the bewitching god temple, one of them was sealed by the 72 demon emperors under the Pang Demon Emperor. The influence of this matter was still not that great. After all, it had only been sealed for less than 100 years. In 100 years, how many Emperor-level experts would be able to enter? Thus, the complaints were still not great enough. If the bewitching god temple were to be sealed for 100,000 or 1,000,000 years, then it was likely that all the powers would find trouble for the Bird Clan. Immortal Realms Crescent Moon Bay. The Dragon Emperor and Ao Wuming were still in the Crescent Moon Bay. After all, it was only a couple months until the Cyan Emperor's ascension. Thus, the two of them planned to return to the Demon Realm after the Cyan Emperor's ascension. The Dragon Emperor, Ao Wuming and the Cyan Emperor were currently drinking tea and chatting. Suddenly, the Dragon Emperor took out his transmission spiritual pearl and quietly chatted with someone for a while. Ao Wuming and the Cyan Emperor both looked at him in confusion. Imperial Father, who is it? After the Dragon Emperor put away his transmission spiritual pearl, Ao Wuming immediately asked. It's Zhong Yan, said the Dragon Emperor with a smile. Pang Demon Emperor Zhong Yan, why are you finding Imperial Father? Could it be that this guy is unable to find Brother Qin Yu and them and wants our Dragon Clan to help him chase and kill Brother Qin Yu? Said Ao Wuming mockingly. Because of his relationship with Qin Yu, Ao Wuming disliked the Pang Demon Emperor Zhong Yan. No. The Dragon Emperor shook his head and smiled. It's not because of this matter. It's because of the matter of the Bewitching God Temple. Bewitching God Temple? I remember that 20 years ago, there was a demon emperor from our Dragon Clan who reported that the Pang Demon Emperor had dispatched 72 demon emperors to use the 8-9 space sealing array. We have yet to go and question him, yet he wants to talk about the matter of the Bewitching God Temple. Imperial Father, what did he say? Asked Ao Wuming. It's all because of Brother Qi Qing. The Dragon Emperor shot a glance at the Cyan Emperor. What does this have to do with me? Said the Cyan Emperor indifferently. Now that the Cyan Emperor had successfully passed the divine tribulation, his heart was very relaxed. He was now someone who was about to ascend to the divine realm. Thus, he did not care much about the immortal, devil and demon realm. The Dragon Emperor said. Zhong Yan said that the strength that Brother Qi Qing had displayed this time had already become a threat to us, the three great emperors of the demon realm. The source of it was the treasures and divine artifacts in the Bewitching God Temple. Thus, he wanted us, the three great emperors of the demon realm, to join hands and eliminate this hidden danger. What the Pang Demon Emperor said is indeed somewhat reasonable. We cannot let such a thing happen again, said Ao Wuming as he nodded. Suddenly, Ao Wuming woke up and said to the Saiyan Emperor beside him, Senior Saiyan Emperor, there's no need to say any more. I am someone who is about to ascend to the divine realm. This immortal, devil and demon realm has nothing to do with me. There's no need for you all to care about me, said the Saiyan Emperor with an indifferent smile. A person who was about to ascend to the divine realm, there was nothing for him to care about. Ao Wuming looked to the Dragon Emperor. Imperial Father, he said, to eliminate this hidden danger. How do we eliminate this hidden danger? As the future Dragon Emperor of the Dragon Clan, Ao Wuming did not want another person who could threaten the three great emperors of the demon realm to appear in his heart. Seal off the passage to the bewitching God Temple. As for when to open it, it's all in our hands. Others do not even have the opportunity to enter the bewitching God Temple. How could they possibly obtain powerful treasures? Said the Dragon Emperor with a light smile. This suggestion of the Pang Demon Emperor is actually somewhat reasonable. The Saiyan Emperor suddenly said, Ao Fong, the matter of sealing off the bewitching God Temple is not something that can be decided by only the three powers of the demon realm. Our immortal realm and that devil realm will also have to participate in this. What the Saiyan Emperor said had startled the Dragon Emperor Ao Fong. If the immortal realm and the devil realm were to join hands, the difference between them and your demon realm is not that great. If they were to truly fight over this, then it would be very hard for your demon realm to remain stable, said the Saiyan Emperor with a smile. The Dragon Emperor also nodded. Indeed, if the three great powers of the immortal realm, devil realm and demon realm were to join hands and seal off the passage, then the immortal realm and the devil realm would definitely be dissatisfied and might even start a war. If the immortal realm and the devil realm were to join hands, their strength would not be much weaker than the demon realm. Furthermore, who knows how powerful the hidden experts of the immortal realm and the devil realm would be. The Saiyan Emperor's suggestion was very effective. The matter of sealing off the entrance of the bewitching God Temple quickly spread to all the great leaders of the immortal realm and the devil realm. Blood Devil Emperor, Azura Devil Emperor, Black Devil Emperor, Flame Emperor, and all the other great leaders were rushing towards the Bird Clan's Black Crow Star. As for the Dragon Emperor and the others, they were still staying at the Crescent Moon Bay. The gathering this time was held about a month later than the Saiyan Emperor's ascension. Crescent Moon Bay. There was a large group of people gathered at the shore of the Crescent Moon Bay. They were here to send the Saiyan Emperor off because the Saiyan Emperor was about to ascend. And Granny Yin Hua, who had mysteriously left before undergoing her divine tribulation, had also arrived at the Crescent Moon Bay. At the same time, the Dragon Emperor, Emperor Ni, Emperor Lu and a large group of people were also sending the Saiyan Emperor off. This Emperor Lu was the new leader of the Saiyan Emperor's forces after the Saiyan Emperor abdicated. Big brother. Emperor Lu looked at the Saiyan Emperor, his eyes filled with reluctance. The Saiyan Emperor smiled and said, Second brother, after I ascend to the divine realm, I will leave everything to you to take care of. Haha, actually, for the past 10 million years, my sphere of influence has always been managed by you. Emperor Lu nodded. Train properly, I will be waiting for you in the divine realm, said the Saiyan Emperor with a smile. Then, he looked to Emperor Ni, the Dragon Emperor and the others. Little sister Ni Shui, Ao Fong, the two of you are already level 9 demon emperors. Quickly undergo your divine tribulation, I will be waiting for you all to reunite. The Dragon Emperor and Emperor Ni both smiled. They, the Saiyan Emperor and the Dark Star Realm's Gold Punishment Lord were very close. The Gold Punishment Lord had ascended. And now, the Saiyan Emperor had also ascended. Emperor Ni and the Dragon Emperor were both level 9 demon emperors and would soon ascend as well. The day when the four of them would meet again in the divine realm would not be far away. Big sister Yin Hua. The Saiyan Emperor looked to Granny Yin Hua. At this moment, the Saiyan Emperor's expression was very strange. It was as if he was making a face. When will you ascend so that we can meet again in the divine realm? Granny Yin Hua smiled. You brat, the day when we will meet again in the divine realm is soon. You crafty fellow, train properly in the divine realm. If your training is bad, don't blame me for punishing you. Good. The Cyan Emperor smiled. He then looked to his wife, the woman who had accompanied him for close to 100 million years. The last period of time before the Cyan Emperor's ascension was the time for this couple to reunite. After a long time, "My wife, it's time," said the Cyan Emperor softly. He then slowly released his wife from his bosom. The Cyan Emperor's wife lightly nodded. "Everyone, let's meet again in the divine realm." The Cyan Emperor's body slowly flew into the sky uncontrollably. At the same time, a misty light was emitted from his body. When the misty light disappeared, the Cyan Emperor had also disappeared. The Dragon Emperor, Emperor Ni and the others all raised their heads to look. "Wu Ming, you will also ascend to the divine realm one day. Do not stand there and let your imagination run wild. We still have important things to do right now," the Dragon Emperor said to Ao Wu Ming. And at this moment, Emperor Lu also said, "Brother Ao Feng, I will set off together with you all." The Dragon Emperor and them were going to proceed toward the Black Crow Star to participate in the gathering of the leaders of the Immortal Realm, Devil Realm and Demon Realm. The purpose of this gathering was to seal off the bewitching God Temple. As for the source of this matter, Qin Yu, he was still training in the Jianglan's realm. Chapter 429. Inside a palace within the Black Crow Star Imperial City. The leaders and important subordinates of the various powers from the Immortal Realm, Devil Realm and Demon Realm were all gathered here. There were a total of over 20 people. Merely, some of them had only come to watch and were unable to do anything. The ones who had the authority to speak were the Dragon Emperor, Peng Demon Emperor, Ox Demon Emperor, the Immortal Realm and the Devil Realm. There were only 5 of them. The Flame Emperor, Emperor Lu, Emperor Yu and the Mystic Emperor represented the Immortal Realm. The Blood Devil Emperor, Azura Devil Emperor, Black Devil Emperor and the 2 hidden experts of the Devil Realm represented the Devil Realm. There were over 20 people sitting in the palace. They were separated into 5 different camps. On the Peng Demon Emperor's side sat a total of 3 people. They were the Peng Demon Emperor, Ao Ku and Lu Tuesday, everyone. As the person who proposed this matter, Peng Demon Emperor Zhong Yan was the first to stand up. Peng Demon Emperor Zhong Yan was still covered in gold from head to toe. His face was still as cold and detached as before. Everyone here are the leaders of the powers from the Immortal Realm, Devil Realm and Demon Realm. I believe that you all do not wish for instability to appear in your own powers. The source of this instability is precisely the bewitching God Temple. Brother Qi Qing had just ascended. However, everyone here also knows of Brother Qi Qing's strength. If your enemies or subordinates were to one day obtain the same treasure as Brother Qi Qing, then everyone can imagine the consequences," said the Peng Demon Emperor indifferently. A black-clothed old man leading the Devil Realm said indifferently, "Brother Zhong Yan, it's better for you to go straight to the main topic. What Brother Mo Luo said is correct." Peng Demon Emperor slightly nodded. Ever since the Cyan Emperor's divine tribulation, he had invited people from all over to gather on the Ridge Peak Star. When the Blood Devil Emperor and them discovered that there were actually 2 exceptional experts in the Devil Realm, they immediately became acquainted with them. This time around, they had invited these 2 great experts to watch over the Devil Realm. These 2 people were respectively Mo Luo and Mo Kong. They were both level 9 Devil Emperor experts. As for their true strength, no one knew about it until they fought. I'll go straight to the main topic. The reason why I invited everyone here was because I hoped that everyone would agree to seal off the entrance to the bewitching God Temple. Peng Demon Emperor Zhong Yan stated his purpose in a clear voice. Seal off the bewitching God Temple entrance? A voice sounded. The person who spoke was a handsome golden-clothed youth. This golden-clothed youth was as dazzling as the sun. As he looked around, he possessed an imposing aura. Brother Zhong Yan should know that there are 2 great entrances to the bewitching God Temple. How do we seal the entrance to the Dark Star Realm? The Peng Demon Emperor said indifferently. We merely need to seal off the entrance in the Demon Realm. I do not believe that anyone from the Immortal Realm, Devil Realm or the Demon Realm would be able to enter the Bewitching God Temple from the entrance in the Dark Star Realm. Everyone was silent. The Dark Star Realm's hostility towards the Immortal Realm, Devil Realm and Demon Realm, how could these big shots not know about it? For the people from the Immortal Realm, Devil Realm and Demon Realm to enter the Dark Star Realm, it would be fine as long as they were not killed. How could they possibly allow you to enter the entrance of the Bewitching God Temple? Everyone, please speak. Do you all agree to this matter? I'll speak first. Our Bird Clan agrees to this, said the Pang Demon Emperor directly. My Beast Clan also agrees. The Ox Demon Emperor also nodded. The Dragon Clan agrees. The Dragon Emperor also expressed his opinion. In an instant, 3 out of the 5 parties had agreed. The Immortal Emperors from the Immortal Realm were currently discussing with each other. However, Mo Luo and Mo Kong were not anxious in the slightest. They were waiting for the result of the Blood Devil Emperor, Azura Devil Emperor and Black Devil Emperor's discussion. The reason why Mo Luo and Mo Kong came was because the Blood Devil Emperor and the other 2 had agreed to a request from them. Otherwise, why would they come? The Flame Emperor, Emperor Yu and Emperor Lu discussed for a moment. Emperor Lu, as the representative, said, "Our Immortal Realm agrees to this. Merely, after sealing off the Bewitching God Temple, how long will it be before it reopens and how many people will be allowed to enter each time it opens? These are things that require further discussion." Of course. A smile appeared on the Pang Demon Emperor's face. Mo Luo received the Azura Devil Emperor's voice transmission. He nodded and said, "Our Devil Realm also agrees. Merely, our thoughts are the same as the Immortal Realm. As for when it will be opened and how many people will be allowed to enter each time it opens, these are things that require further discussion." The Pang Demon Emperor, the Dragon Emperor and the Great Ape Emperor actually wanted to close the Bewitching God Temple forever. If the Bewitching God Temple were to be closed forever, then their superiority would be something that the other powers would never be able to catch up to. However, the Dragon Emperor and them knew that it was impossible to close the Bewitching God Temple forever. Firstly, the Immortal Realm and the Devil Realm would oppose it. Secondly, the super-divine beasts of the Demon Realm such as the Phoenix, the Seven-Colored Peacock, the Purple-Eyed Ox Demon King and the Fire Qilin would all oppose it. Furthermore, the other clans of the Demon Realm would also oppose it. They would not give up on the opportunity to strengthen themselves. Good, since everyone has agreed to this matter, then sealing off the Bewitching God Temple is a foregone conclusion. Now, let us discuss. How long will it be before the Bewitching God Temple opens and how many people will be allowed to enter each time it opens? Said the Pang Demon Emperor indifferently. Soon after, the various powers began to discuss. According to the Pang Demon Emperor and the Dragon Emperor's point of view, the longer the better and the less people entering the Bewitching God Temple, the better. However, the Immortal Realm, the Devil Realm and even the Ox Demon Emperor did not agree to this point. 3 entire days. Through various means, the 5 parties finally came up with a plan that was barely acceptable to the 5 parties. Good, since everyone has agreed to it, then from today on, the 5 sides will follow this plan. If any side were to violate it, the other 4 sides would join hands to kill them. Pang Demon Emperor said coldly. The Dragon Emperor and the others nodded. This agreement that was made by the leaders of the 5 sides, an agreement that would last for countless years, was decided just like that. The contents of the plan: seal off the entrance of the Bewitching God Temple in the Demon Realm. Normally, no one would be allowed to enter. Every 10,000 years, the entrance of the Bewitching God Temple would open once. And when it opens, each of the 5 sides would have a quota to enter. The Immortal Realm and the Devil Realm were extremely chaotic. The quota to enter was decided upon through discussion by the major powers of the Immortal Realm and the Devil Realm. Every 10,000 years, the entrance would only open once. Each of the 5 sides would only have a single quota. It appeared that the quota was less. However, this was also the result of the hard work of the Immortal Realm and the Devil Realm. According to what the Pang Demon Emperor had said at the beginning, the entrance would open once every 10 million years. The proposal that the Pang Demon Emperor had proposed at the beginning was extremely frightening. The reason why the Pang Demon Emperor did this was because he did not wish for the Immortal Realm and the Devil Realm to obtain any treasures. In the end, after continuous discussion, the time limit was lowered. Finally, it was lowered to opening once every 10,000 years. Actually, the time that the Pang Demon Emperor had proposed at the beginning was something that he himself knew to be impossible. Merely, the Pang Demon Emperor knew that if he were to propose a longer time limit, there would be more room for discussion. Opening once every 10,000 years, each of our 5 sides can only have a single person enter the Bewitching God Temple. Now that this matter has been decided, we shall discuss the method to seal the entrance of the Bewitching God Temple, said the Pang Demon Emperor. The Dragon Emperor smiled and said, "Isn't the 8-9 space sealing array very good? I do not believe that anyone would be able to break through it." "That's right, your 72 demon emperors can continue to guard the entrance," said the Ox Demon Emperor while laughing. The Pang Demon Emperor frowned. Have his 72 demon emperors continue to waste time there? Wasn't the other 4 sides scheme too good? The Pang Demon Emperor suddenly smiled and said, "If these 72 demon emperors were to set up the 8-9 space sealing array, then where would they stay? If they were to stay outside of the entrance, then I'm afraid that someone would kill the person who set up the formation array. If the person who set up the formation array were to die, then the 8-9 space sealing array would naturally be broken. Thus, I could only have the 72 demon emperors stay inside the entrance." "That's reasonable. Staying outside of the entrance is indeed not safe," said Emperor Yu as he nodded. "Since you all want my people to continue to guard the entrance of the Bewitching God Temple, then I also do not have any objections. Let's have them continue to guard the entrance," said the Pang Demon Emperor while smiling. The Dragon Emperor, Ox Demon Emperor, Blood Devil Emperor, Black Devil Emperor and them all came to a realization. If they were to stay inside the entrance, then they would be able to enter the Bewitching God Temple to collect divine artifacts at any time. If they were to have the 72 demon emperors of the Bird Clan stay there the entire time, then who knows how many divine artifacts those demon emperors would obtain. "That won't do," said the Ox Demon Emperor while smiling. "Firstly, we cannot let you suffer such a loss. Secondly, if we were to do that, it would be very easy for us to steal what we're guarding." "That's right." The Dragon Emperor nodded and said, "How about this? Each of us 5 sides will send out a few Emperor-level experts and set up the 8-9 space sealing array together. In this way, the Emperor-level experts of the 5 sides would be able to monitor each other and not steal what we're guarding." The Blood Devil Emperor sneered and said, "That's hard to say. If they were to reach an agreement with each other, then they might still steal what they're guarding. Thus, we must strictly order that all those who enter the Bewitching God Temple to search for divine artifacts during the period of guarding will be chased and killed by the 3 realms." "That's right." The Pang Demon Emperor also nodded. Soon after, this proposal received approval from all sides. The Emperor-level experts that we'll send out, are their energies different? There's Immortal Elemental Energy, Devil Elemental Energy, and Demon Elemental Energy. If they were to mix with each other, wouldn't it cause a backlash and cause the formation array to collapse? Emperor Lu asked in confusion. The Pang Demon Emperor smiled and said, "Brother Lu doesn't know much about the 8-9 space sealing array. This 8-9 space sealing array, the more heterogeneous the energy of the people who set it up, the more powerful the 8-9 space sealing array would be." "Oh, it's that peculiar." The Devil Realm's Black Devil Emperor was also surprised. "That's precisely the case. When the time comes, you all will know," said the Pang Demon Emperor confidently. This 8-9 space sealing array was the great formation array of the Bird Clan. He was naturally very familiar with it. The Pang Demon Emperor said again, "Now, let's discuss how many people each of our 5 sides will send out." 72. This number is a bit hard to distribute. After another round of discussion, finally, the 5 sides came to a conclusion. The Bird Clan, Dragon Clan, and Beast Clan would each send out 14 Demon Emperors. As for the Immortal Realm and Devil Realm, they would each send out 15 Emperor-level experts. After all, if the Immortal Realm and the Devil Realm were to join hands, then they would still be a bit stronger than the Dragon Clan or the Bird Clan alone. It would be sealed for 10,000 years. It would only open once and for a year. If one were to not come out within a year, then one would be killed by the joint efforts of the 5 sides. In the year when the Immortal Realm, Devil Realm and Demon Realm had just been established, each side had sent out a person to enter the outer region of the Bewitching God Temple to search. The next time it would open would be 10,000 years later. After a year, the 5 people that entered the outer region of the Bewitching God Temple to try their luck had all come out. These 5 people were respectively Ao Ku of the Bird Clan, Ao Lan of the Dragon Clan, Ox Demon Emperor of the Beast Clan, Mo Luo of the Devil Realm and Emperor Lu of the Immortal Realm. These 5 people, their strength were all about the same. On the planet closest to the outer region of the Bewitching God Temple. At this moment, the Pung Demon Emperor, Dragon Emperor and them were here. This outer region of the Bewitching God Temple is indeed incomparably strange. To come out within a year, I could only search within the limits of my ability. In a year, my luck was pretty good. I only managed to obtain a single low-quality divine artifact, said the Ox Demon Emperor indifferently. The Dragon Emperor laughed and said, "You're pretty good. Of the 5 people that entered this time, only you managed to obtain a single divine artifact. The others did not obtain a single divine artifact. Divine artifacts were extremely hard to obtain. In the past, when the Bewitching God Temple was not sealed, there would frequently be Emperor-level experts that came to try their luck. However, in the outer region of the Bewitching God Temple, if one wanted to try their luck within the limits of one's ability, it was likely that only 1 out of 100 Emperor-level experts would be able to obtain a divine artifact. Immortal, Devil and Demon Realm. After the matter of sealing the Bewitching God Temple ended, the entire Immortal, Devil and Demon Realm returned to its former tranquility. Occasionally, a new character would appear. However, none of them could compare to Qin Yu and his brothers. In a short several hundred years, Qin Yu and Ho Fei's strength were comparable to level 9 Immortal Emperors. Kuro was also close to level 8 Immortal Emperor. As for Qin Yu and his brothers, they were equally famous as the Hidden Emperor and his brothers. They could be considered as peak characters in the Immortal, Devil and Demon Realm. However, for such a miraculous matter to happen a second time, it was extremely difficult. Inside the Zhonglan's realm, Qin Yu and his brothers were together. Qin Yu himself was watching from the side. As for Ho Fei, he was currently sparring with Kuro. Bang! A spear swept across. As if it had passed through space, it suddenly appeared in front of Ho Fei and smashed the stunned Ho Fei to the ground, causing the ground to crack open. Qin Yu clapped his hands and said with a smile, "Good. Fei, retribution has come, right? You've always bullied Xiao Hei in the past. Mixed hair bird, that abnormal." Ho Fei stood up indignantly. When sparring with me, he actually learned my stick technique. After slightly modifying it, he used it as a spear technique. Stick and spear, there was not much difference between them. Stick techniques could be used with spears. You can't say it like that. For Xiao Hei to be able to defeat you, it was not only because of his spear technique and stick technique. The main reason was because his speed was faster than yours and his movement technique was more nimble than yours. Furthermore, his body's defense was stronger than yours. He didn't need to care about his body's defense like you did. He only needed to attack and didn't need to defend. Thus, you naturally lost. Qin Yu said with a smile. Ho Fei snorted a few times and didn't say anything else. Kuro still stood there coldly. He held the cloud-piercing spear in one hand and coldly said, "Monkey, you've trampled on me for hundreds of years. Today, I've only smashed you once with my spear. This debt hasn't been repaid yet." Ho Fei's expression froze. Qin Yu suddenly smiled. These 2 brothers of his were indeed interesting. And Qin Yu's face suddenly revealed a happy expression. Hundreds of years. After hundreds of years, the energy in my body has finally absorbed enough flower paste energy. I can step into the 9th realm of the stellar transformations. Chapter 430. Big Brother, what's wrong? Kuro asked confusedly. He saw that Qin Yu's expression was a bit strange. Ho Fei also looked over. He was also surprised and confused. The excitement and joy on Qin Yu's face was unconcealable. Qin Yu looked to his two brothers and said, Fei, Xiaohei, you two know that I've been stuck at the 8th stage of the stellar transformations the entire time, right? Now, I can finally enter the 9th stage. Really? Ho Fei and Kuro were about to say something. Qin Yu nodded repeatedly. He said excitedly, That's right, I'm going to start training right away. Amen, I'll just train here. During the training period, it'll be fine as long as you two do not disturb me. Right now, I've already reached the critical point. I reckon that I'll only need a short period of time. Qin Yu did not care about anything else. He directly sat down cross-legged on the grass. Soon after, with an intention, he isolated a 3-meter radius around him from the outside world. In the Jianglan's realm, Qin Yu was invincible. Even if the Saiyan Emperor were to come, he would also not be able to attack Qin Yu. Fei will wait on the side. Kuro also sat down cross-legged and quietly looked at Qin Yu in the distance. Ho Fei also nodded and sat down cross-legged. He also looked at his big brother. Qin Yu appeared to be very calm. Although his appearance was calm, Qin Yu's consciousness had already passed through the black hole in his dantian and entered the relatively small, stellar space that belonged to him within the flower paste space. The flower paste space was still filled with an endless amount of flower paste. However, Qin Yu was able to clearly sense the ancient aura that was being emitted from the flower paste space. The stellar space is over 10 times larger than the last time I saw it. Qin Yu looked up and down. The more flower paste energy that the stellar space absorbed from the outside world, the larger the stellar space would become. But now, the astral space was almost spherical, with a diameter of nearly 1,000 meters. Within this enormous space, which had a diameter of 1,000 meters, were countless golden specks that were constantly spinning. The countless golden specks formed a nebula. Every bit of my energy has absorbed the flower paste energy. The transformation has been successful. Now, it's time for the next step. Qin Yu didn't know why, but his heart was filled with confidence. Under Qin Yu's control, the spinning speed of the countless golden particles increased. Rumble. The entire space of the astral space started to tremble, and even made extremely loud noises. It was as if the space was about to be destroyed. The countless golden particles started to rotate at a terrifying speed, and at the same time, the volume of the nebula started to shrink. This is the time. Under Qin Yu's control, the speed at which the nebula was shrinking increased by 10,000 times. Poof! It was as if there was a hole in the core of the nebula. All the golden particles rotated and gathered towards the inner core. It seemed to have happened in the blink of an eye, but it also seemed like a long time had passed. All the golden specks were gone. The only thing left in the astral space was the golden sphere. This golden sphere was very small, and under Qin Yu's observation, it was only the size of a fist. In a space with a diameter of over 1,000 meters, a golden sphere the size of a fist seemed even smaller in comparison. That golden sphere was constantly spinning, and there were black flames burning around the golden sphere. Black flames, godly flames. Qin Yu couldn't help but feel surprised. It was as he had expected. Back then, when he reached the dark star realm, his astral true flame was the blue heavenly flame. When he reached the black hole realm, his astral true flame was the extremely silent heavenly flame. And now, it was a black godly flame. According to Song Shi, the true flame of an emperor rank phoenix is also a black godly flame. If a phoenix can use a large amount of extremely silent heavenly flame to attack others, can I? Qin Yu asked himself. Unfortunately, Qin Yu wasn't proficient in the use of flames. Back then, he had also relied on the blazing profound ring to be able to use flames to attack others. As for the blazing profound ring, the limit of the flames it could release was the blue heavenly flame. and the blue heavenly flame was of no threat to people like Emperor Yu. It seems that I will have to learn how to use flame sometime. Qin Yu understood in his heart that the astral true flame was a godly flame. Logically, he should be able to use a large area of effect extremely silent heavenly flame to attack others. That golden sphere was constantly spinning. Hoo-hoo! A very clear sound resounded. From all directions, the flower paste energy in the flower paste space turned into strips and seeped into the astral space, converging towards the golden sphere. The golden sphere easily absorbed them. Qin Yu looked over. He saw that a myriad of gray strips were unceasingly converging on the golden sphere. Could it be that I don't need elemental spirit aura now? Qin Yu tried to absorb the elemental spirit aura from the outside world. However, his golden sphere didn't absorb the energy that was purified by the elemental spirit aura. Qin Yu immediately understood. It seemed that from the 9th stage onwards, if he wanted to transform the golden sphere, he could only rely on absorbing the energy in the flower paste space. With a thought, Qin Yu's consciousness instantly withdrew from the astral space. Opening his eyes, Qin Yu extended his index finger. A strand of golden finger light was unceasingly emitting from his index finger. Qin Yu sensed the power of this golden finger light. It seems that the power isn't too strong. It's not as strong as my body's current strength. However, it's still alright. It's about the same as what I expected. From the late stage of the black hole realm to the early stage of the 9th stage, the power of the energy has increased by about 10 times. Qin Yu was still very satisfied with the increase in power. What should I name this 9th stage? Qin Yu pondered for a moment. Suddenly, Qin Yu recalled the science and technology civilization that his master, Lei Wei, had left behind. It was said that the universe was formed by singularities. Singularities? Then, let's call this origin, for now, the 9th stage of the stellar transformations, the origin stage. Qin Yu made up his mind. He didn't really like the name, singularities. Thus, he didn't use it. Currently, Qin Yu was only at the early stage of the origin stage. The power of the origin stage only had the offensive power of a level 5 or 6 immortal emperor. It wouldn't be of much help to Qin Yu. Only by reaching the middle stage of the origin stage would Qin Yu be of great help. Since I've entered the 9th stage, my future cultivation can be considered as a matter of course. The stellar transformations has great potential. Currently, the cultivation technique that can truly increase my offensive power is the 9 transformations dark gold body. Qin Yu understood. He reckoned that after a long period of time or after entering the divine realm, his greatest reliance would still be the stellar transformations. With a thought, he removed the spatial restriction around him. Big brother, how is it? Ho Fei and Kuro asked at almost the same time. Qin Yu stood up, stretched his body and said with a smile. Not bad. However, I've only just stepped into the 9th stage. For the time being, my power is still inferior to the 9 transformations dark gold body. Right now, I still have to cultivate the 9 transformations dark gold body. Ho Fei and Kuro both nodded their heads. This was just as they expected. The late-stage black hole realm only had the strength of a level 3 immortal emperor. Even if Qin Yu made a breakthrough, the energy of the stellar transformations couldn't possibly reach the level of a level 8 or 9 immortal emperor. Big brother, how far have you cultivated the 9 transformations dark gold body? Ho Fei asked. Late stage, 7th stage. I'm not far from breaking through. Qin Yu said with a smile. The strength of the 7th stage was only comparable to Emperor Yu. If he were to reach the 8th stage, with the addition of the recovery power of the life origin energy, he would definitely be able to defeat Emperor Yu. Qin Yu suddenly saw a person. It was Yi Chu who was looking at Qin Yu from not far away. You've reached the late stage 7th stage? Yi Chu asked once again. Qin Yu nodded. He knew that Yi Chu was going to grieve again. Yi Chu clenched his fists. His pair of tiger-like eyes stared at Qin Yu. How many years have I trained for? From the painstaking 7th stage to the 8th stage. You've only reached the 7th stage for several hundred years, less than 1,000 years. Could it be that you're going to reach the 8th stage from the 7th stage in 1,000 years? Yi Chu, don't be too grieved. Your cultivation speed is actually pretty fast. Compared to me, it's only a bit slower. Qin Yu said with a deadly earnest expression. You. Yi Chu was momentarily speechless. As for Ho Fei and Kuro, they both started to laugh. You scoundrel brat, let's not talk about it anymore, said Yi Chu helplessly. Qin Yu could only smile. Ever since they met Qin Yu and his brothers on the Ridge Peak Star, it had already been 100 years since the Pang Demon Emperor and them had received any news about Qin Yu and his brothers. As time passed, the Pang Demon Emperor, Emperor Yu and them grew more and more anxious. The more time passed, the more frightening the strength of Qin Yu and his brothers would increase. In a certain palace in the Imperial Palace of the Black Crow Star, the Pang Demon Emperor and Emperor Yu were currently drinking and chatting. Back then, when Qin Yu had just stepped into the Bird Clan, I was obstructed by the Dragon Emperor when I tried to kill Qin Yu. At that time, Qin Yu was simply unable to resist me. Only after 100 years did Qin Yu reappear. When he reappeared, Qin Yu was already powerful enough to kill Bai Feng. His strength was around level 8 Immortal Emperor. After another 100 years, when Qin Yu reappeared, he was already equally matched with me. He had already reached level 9 Immortal Emperor. Emperor Yu's expression was somewhat helpless. And now, another 100 years have passed. The current Qin Yu's strength might have already surpassed mine. The Pang Demon Emperor who stood to the side lightly smiled and said, Brother Feng Yu, you don't have to worry too much about it. The further one reaches, the harder it is to increase one's strength. His attack power was able to reach level 9 Immortal Emperor from level 8 Immortal Emperor in 100 years. However, now that it's been 100 years, I reckon that he wouldn't be able to increase his strength too much. The Bewitching God Temple has also been sealed by us. He is also unable to enter the Bewitching God Temple. There shouldn't be any accidents. All these years, we've been unable to find Qin Yu and his brothers. Could it be that they've been hiding in the Qingyu Immortal Mansion the entire time? Said Emperor Yu helplessly as he shook his head. The Pang Demon Emperor also grew silent. Where exactly were they hiding? Suddenly, Emperor Yu raised his head. His eyes shined. Brother Qin Yu, I've discovered a loophole in the method that we use to chase after Qin Yu and his brothers. I think that we might be able to chase after Qin Yu and his brothers. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.